Agonami. They came in form. Now is all over. Do now. Greet them for me.
Chowulu kwekun egbeshin beko benieho chogbidi. The song I sang, it means a mighty tree has fallen and the ground is feeling the vibrations. Yes, this is what we do for funerals in some of our Ghana communities. You remember when the Gbawe Manche died and there was a funeral, the whole town was shut down, schools were closed, and you probably saw people walking around dressed like this because that is how Ghana people would dress to a funeral. So I could switch this up and take this off, and then when I put the black aside, then you know you do that for Homowo. But when the black is on and you see me dressed just like this, then there's a funeral and a mighty tree would have fallen. I have some herbs with me. This is just neem tree, okay? So in Ghana, we call it anti-corona medicine. You remember during the COVID days, you had this. So they just take this and put it in their mouth. Once it goes into their mouth, it means no stocking and no eating. So that's why you see them with this one. So sharing more and more of the today. Welcome to Breakfast Show. My name is Thelma, or as some of you want me to say, Acho Mina Tachwa Taki.
I'm going to have you brushed your teeth, children?
So today you're just chilling at home?
I'm just chilling at home. My black collar.
No, we Fridays.
Yes.
There are people Fridays, we do a lot of funerals.
Okay, me, I'm home.
That's why I'm
home. And on the show, 6:30, we'll be giving you made in Ghana apps and software that you have no idea about. We've got Rudolph Walker, British Trinidadian actor on the show today. We've got headlines with Thelma. We've got sports at 7 o'clock. We've got your messages on 055-556-1034. And we've got the news at 6. I hear Nigerians have stormed the Ukrainian embassy.
They are volunteering. It's not storming. They are volunteering.
They want to go and fight in Ukraine. Have they stormed the army headquarters to go and fight Boko Haram?
You see, this is the kind of mentality that doesn't take us anywhere. We have to think global.
And they will end up in tomato farms in Italy.
I'm proud of my Nigerian brothers.
We've got the news coming up with Maltiti, the Dagbon princess. Stay with us.
That's my good morning, and thank you for joining us on the 6 a.m. news of GTV Breakfast. I am Maltiti-Sida Sadek, the Maltiti-Sida Sadek. I'm dressed today, Friday, like I'm going for a regular occasion in the Dagbon Kingdom. Well, we'll be looking at the Bank of Ghana CEO subpoenaed over some cases and also bring you all that is happening in Ukraine and Russia. Let's start off from Ghana, where Accra High Court has ordered a subpoena to be served to the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, to produce a statement of accounts on the defunct Capital Bank from the period between June 2015 and August 2017. Justice of the Court of Appeal, Justice Eric Chebafo, who is sitting with an additional responsibility as a High Court judge, gave the order after lawyer for Mr. William Atuesian prayed the court for the governor or an official of the central bank to produce the statement of accounts before the court on March 10, 2022.
Chebafo, granting the request by lawyers for Mr. William Atuesian, ordered the court's registry to direct a subpoena at the government of the Bank of Ghana and further ordered the governor shall direct the appropriate department of the bank that is in charge of the statement of accounts of commercial banks to produce the bank statements of the collapsed Capital Bank now in receivership. Prior to the direction from the court, the state, through an assistant state attorney, Ms. Anastasia Karimu, cross-examined the first defense witness, Dr. Isaac Nyami, a chartered accountant who was engaged by solicitors for Mr. William Atuesian to review and prepare a reconciliation report on funds flow and related balances. The founder and chief executive of the defunct Capital Bank, Mr. William Appiatse is standing trial for his alleged role in the fall of the bank. He is facing charges including conspiracy, stealing, money laundering and others. Two other accused persons, the managing director of MC Management Services, a company established by Appiatse, a managing director of Capital Bank, Mr. Fitzgerald Odonko, are variously being held for abetment of crime. Hearing continues on Thursday, March 10, 2022, when the governor of the Bank of Ghana or a representative of the Bank of Ghana is expected to comply with the court's order to appear before it with the necessary documents.
Now to the seat of government, where the Flagstaff House let us find ways to do away with the expensive housing methods in Ghana to bridge the 1.8 million housing deficit facing Ghana, says President Akufo-Addo at an interaction between the President and the Governing Council of the Ghana Chamber of Construction at the Jubilee House. Nana Akufo-Addo charged the contractors to explore the use of local materials to build houses in order to lower the price of houses. Edward reports.
This was a maiden meeting between the President and captains of construction industry in the country. High on the agenda of the Ghana Chamber of Construction were the auditing of the construction sector against the national development aspirations, passage of the Construction Industry Development Authority Bill, leveraging on the passage of public and private partnership law to source funds to develop the construction industry.
The Chamber of Construction Industry believes that the processes for public procurement need some revamp to address significant challenges in procuring works, goods and services. We have challenges with the award of contracts, which without cognizance of the various classifications need to be addressed. I'm happy to say that we supported the Minister for Roads and Highways in his new reclassification drive, and will continue.
To the arrears due contractors, the Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Asensubuachi, said a review of the mortgage law will help attract investors into the housing industry. President Akufo-Addo was worried about high cost of housing in Ghana and urged the Chamber of Construction to find an antidote to this problem.
A critical aspect of it is our ability to build houses cheaply. We cannot continue to ignore the expensive methods of construction that has made housing here virtually a monopoly of the rich. It shouldn't be the case. The richest country in the world, America, has some of the cheapest housing that you can come across anywhere in the world. Some small three-bedroom house in East Legon, places is costing you $350,000, $400,000, $500,000. You get mansions for that in many parts of America. Yes, $100,000, $200,000 maximum. That gives you a very well-appointed home because the materials that go into construction in the United States are local, they're indigenous, and they are very, very cheap. We need to find a solution to how we can build strong houses here, but cheaply.
Until the President, the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda can actually happen if the construction industry in the country is no more dominated by foreign companies.
I don't know any country, seriously developed country, where you go there and the key contractors, the main builders, the main infrastructure creators are foreign elements. And local people, domestic people. And that is what we have to work towards here in Ghana. And for that to happen, we need your support.
Also at the Jubilee House with the leadership of the Pan-African Union, it conferred on President Akufo-Addo an award for his contribution towards the promotion of peace and security in the ECOWAS sub-region. The Pan-African Union is the youth wing of the African Union. For the first time in its 60 years of existence, a Ghanaian has been elected as the Secretary General of the Pan-African Union in the person of Ahmed Benin Wichon. Edward Nyakun reporting for GBC News.
Staying a bit longer at the Flagstaff House, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has challenged the newly reconstituted Ghana AIDS Commission Governing Board to double up to reverse the average 21,000 HIV/AIDS annual deaths in the country, When he swore in the Ghana AIDS Commission Board at the Jubilee House in Accra, Dr. This decade is aimed at ending AIDS and achieving HIV epidemic control as enshrined in the SDGs, and more efforts must be applied to meet this goal.
The Commission is a supra-ministerial and multi-sectorial body established under the chairmanship of the President of Ghana. The Commission's objective is to formulate policy on the HIV and AIDS epidemic and to direct and coordinate activities in response to HIV and AIDS. From statistics, HIV remains a major public health concern, and AIDS is one of the leading causes of death in Ghana, with an average of 21,000 deaths annually over the last 5 years. With more than 245,000 of the estimated 346,000 persons living with HIV on antiretroviral treatment, the figures are said to be alarming. The 19-member governing board led by Dr. Kwekwe is also charged to ensure that Ghana becomes a country where HIV and AIDS are eliminated by 2030. The other members are the Ministers for Health, Gender, Children and Social Protection, Local Government and Rural Development. The board also has the Director General of the Commission, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, the Executive Director of the National Population Council, the Government Statistician, the President of the Network of Associations of Persons Living with HIV, 2 representatives of Parliament, 1 representative each nominated by a Christian group and the Federation of Muslim and Ahmadiyya Mission, 1 representative of the National House of Chiefs, 1 representative of the Ghana Employers Association, 1 representative of the Labour Organization, and 2 persons with expertise on matters related to HIV and AIDS, 1 of whom is a female. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, charged the board to make it a priority to reduce HIV/AIDS new infections and related deaths.
HIV remains a major public health concern, and AIDS is one of the leading causes of death in Ghana, with an average of 21,000 deaths annually over the last 5 years. With more than 245,000 of the estimated 346,000 persons living with HIV on antiretroviral treatment, we should not be seeing such significant numbers of new infections and AIDS-related deaths.
The board chair, Dr. Kwekwe, pledged the board's readiness to achieve the country's HIV/AIDS target.
We pledge that we will work to suppress new infections, and then all the tools and arsenals that have been discovered by medicine, together with the Ministry of Health, we shall apply them so that the last vestiges of HIV/AIDS, we conquer them, so that in tandem we have an eye on the Millennium Challenge goals that have been aimed at. That the goal is 2030. We shall prevail.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, said government is working to get adequate funding to support the creations of the AIDS Commission.
Now, following GBC News story on an 11-year-old girl living with chronic sickle cell complications, a sympathetic and kind-hearted Guinean has donated a health package of 20,000 Ghana cedis to support the treatment of Bitia. The anonymous donor says she was touched by the plight of the little girl.
Profound joy when the family of Faustina Amegavi, the mother of little Bitia, in the company of Bitia, her 4 other children and Bitia's stepfather, visited the GBC newsroom to receive the package that the kind-hearted donor had put aside for them. Aside the 20,000 donation, Bitia was given a brand new wheelchair, which the donor says should help her to move around. The donor, who wishes to be anonymous, says she was touched by the pathetic story of Bitia and her family, and so she decided to support them. In the words of the donor, it takes an individual to bring into the world a child, but it takes a whole community to nurture and mold that child into a responsible individual. According to the donor, the care she is given to Bitia will enable her go back to school and also enjoy her childhood. on behalf of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the Director of Television, Mr. Beniza Mpabin, thanked the philanthropist and assured that GBC will continue to use its platform to champion stories that promote development and societal well-being.
This is awesome. We, as a public service broadcaster, this is one of our responsibilities. We may not have money to help people ourselves, but we have the platform given us by the state and the people of Ghana who own GBC to make a contribution to improve upon their lives. So when people are in need like this, and we project it and get people to respond for help, we would have done or played our part. But what's exciting about this donor is the fact that she wants to remain anonymous. Her heart has been touched by what we have done and has decided to give this package that goes way beyond 20,000 cedis. Take care of the medical bills and so on and so forth. We are so grateful to her.
Faustina Amegavi, mother of Betia, thanked the donor and GBC for the support. Meanwhile, from a medical examination conducted on the 5 children of Faustina, 3 sickle cell positive, 1 AS and 1 negative. Currently, all 3 are receiving treatment at the Kulebutichin Hospital Sickle Cell Center, with 2 on admission. With this support from this anonymous donor, it clearly shows that angels still exist right here among us. Gifty AJ, GBC News, Accra.
Israeli companies have developed some of the world's most innovative types of fertilizers and soil inoculants for all kinds of soil types and plants. The companies are in Ghana to introduce these new technologies which increase yields and protect the soil.
Types of soil: sandy, silt and clay. Another type is the idiomix and loam, a combination of sandy, silt and clay. Among other things, soils provide plants with essential minerals and nutrients and protects plants from erosion and other destructive physical, biological and chemical activity. Soils hold water and maintain adequate ventilation. In the absence of a healthy soil, crops are likely to deplete. A survey conducted by Israeli soil experts shows how Ghana's soil is being degraded due to unsustainable farming practices, removal of vegetation cover including deforestation and overgrazing, mining activities among others. In view of this, a stakeholder forum has been organized to promote the use of native fertilizers, soil inoculants, best soil practices and influence policy formulation in agriculture production in Ghana. Israel's ambassador to Ghana, Liberia and Sierra Leone, Madam Shlomit Sufa, spoke to GBC News.
This is the first time that our Trade and Economic Mission in Ghana is holding such a program. It's unique and we hope to be able to repeat it in the coming years. We are very optimistic about how much relevant solutions can be found by Israeli companies to the needs of the farmers in Ghana.
The Director of Crop Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Seth Oseyakutu, spoke about the measures to improve the soil health status in Ghana.
We are going to fall on organic fertilizers, which some of them are produced locally, some of them are brought from international markets, but that are not. That's what we are going to do. And in an attempt to do that, we need to be able to promote it and then also educate farmers how to be able to use organic fertilizers, because organic fertilizers use has become a challenge among the farmers.
The principal research scientist of the CSIR Crop Research Institute in Kumasi, Dr. Francis Tete, tells us about healthy soils.
You know that the soil contains earthworms, invertebrates or whatever we call them, and microorganisms. When you go to a place and then you see that there are earthworm casts, and then as you plow, you see earthworm, then the soil is very healthy. But when you go to a place when you don't see any earthworm at all, no ants, then there is a problem with the soil.
Organic fertilizers are available to farmers across the country at their district offices.
On the international front, Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi has sacked 6 ministers, including finance, in a major reshuffle. The announcement was made in a statement that did not offer any reasons for the dismissal of the ministers or give indications of when the positions would be filled. It is the second major reorganization of the cabinet in recent months. Others sacked included the ministers of Mineral Resources and Energy, Sea, Inland Waters and Fisheries and Public Works, Housing and Water Resources. Political observers in the country say they were not surprised by the sackings. Non-Russian President Vladimir Putin has said his special military operation, otherwise known as Russia's invasion of Ukraine, is going according to plan. His claim comes despite many analysts suggesting the invasion has not gone to plan. In a televised speech, he accused Ukrainian forces of taking thousands of foreign citizens hostage and using civilians as human shields. He provided no evidence for these claims. He added that Russians and Ukrainians were one people and said he would destroy this anti-Russia created by the West. Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Zelensky has asked Vladimir Putin for one-to-one talks, saying this is the only way to end the war. He also appealed to the West to give him planes to fight the invasion. That's how we wrap up the news on GTV Breakfast. Up next is the weather, after which Thelma brings to you Keep an Eye. Stay with us. Banye fenye de manye ngmene soha na benene heko echon ebushi ni afo ke jijira mo na afe yala soha mepi fun ame gbohin ni ngmene indamonye hie in sa ihe tamo me ya yala. I've just said that somewhere in Accra this Friday there's a family that's in despair, in wailing and mourning because they are burying a loved one and they are having a funeral. So today I'm dressed like I'm going to a funeral. Asafo yala femo ni ke oba kaye gbawe manche ni lai family te ni echon ese ke osu manche ni okwe kin kadowe na le hu echon ese ni afi ameyara onani me itsa amehi neke. It's Keep an Eye, and today we are also somehow in a state of mourning, and we are mourning with the people of Appiatse who are getting ready to bury their dead tomorrow from that horrific tragic incident that happened last month. And my colleague Alan Darrell Tego
has been to Appiatse and has followed some of their recovery processes and has come through with this report for Keep an Eye.
Appiatse is a mining and a farming community between Tarkwa and Bogoso in the Prestia-Huni Valley Municipal Assembly in the western region of Ghana. It has a population of a little over 10,000. And this is what Appiatse would have looked like, but for the unfortunate event of January 2022, looking at its adjoining village, Nyametiase. Being a mining community, it is safe to assume that the people may be aware of dynamites, its importance to mining, and its benefits for miners. Indeed, dynamite can have a very devastating effect if found in the wrong hands, and this is what the indigents of Appiatse will wake up to on January 20, 2022. A sad reality, this is flattened by dynamite. On January 20, 2022, a truck transporting dynamite explosives to Chirano Gold Mine, operated by Canada-based Kinross, about 140 kilometers away from the epicenter of the blast in Appiatse, allegedly collided with a bicycle locally known as Aboboya, causing a devastating explosion. The people of Appiatse, as well as other commuters traveling along that road, came to the scene of the collision. Curious, some decided to use their mobile phones to capture the scenes when a second blast went off some few minutes later, leaving some 13 people dead, several also injured, and hundreds of properties razed down. The destruction traveled as far as a kilometer away from the epicenter of the blast. In this feature, GTV's Breakfast Keep an Eye team brings you Flattened by Dynamite, as we pay a visit to survivors to find out how they are picking their lives up and the kind of support that's available for them. The costs: properties, shops, a church about 88 meters from the epicenter went down. Same as a makeshift school, a fuel station in the distance, with some houses behind it, all affected. At the relief camp, we met some of the victims. First to speak to us was a young widow, Hannah Entry, who lost her husband in the blast.
I said community president nso kakankra mohwe yen kakankranti asitem omoko school yade school ni de omoko kakanka se ama kwampo me fit me ona me na ya me ya ni ti say next for so how mohwe yen kakanka.
We spoke also to the MCE.
And running up my Bosomba Pepe, and said, I'll be 11:30 in Mona, yet sound no crown on me feeling or me dynamic Timuno, and I'm a Pia Bonting, and I'm baby said, then I see, I mean, call for no me, and confirming also a sound nifty room. Until now, sound a strange. Until me dawa about 2 minutes, 3 minutes now, Minya cause as a messia Piatini, near your coya, you could draw her now, and for the crooning in Ano, Abadown.
We also spoke to the director of NADMO, Mr. Abeku Yanka.
Na obi no ya hobo ati se wo fi wonim so wonu bibewu wonim so wo fa bibewu be owu a kwa ba fa so benya mwa lo e so ye de wo fa so na oboa nti Appiatse nsem esien over sisi afre egu so enya the accurate data be ashase no ne nam 1000 and over. But this year, you say data Affiliate Commission for our mobile. This year, 882. The Mr. Satam, no more than 1,500, 1,002. No move for him on my car home. Benyame adom nyoma eba fuma yenya 1 month no ma no so te the tent ya ka wase ene na ka chance yi be ye ka say no tem bia dofunu bi be ye mmoa e ka ye ka sa tent bi ne gu ha ya mo de abayi ye ka say Benito any minister deputy minister Benito Biu any honorable minister Jidinapo omo so ayade say omo ne FG afo ka na ya jedan na esi ha no bi na ye do makwatem ne ya boso aye ka say oba obun say dan bi wa uncompleted bid na ye apete my ide e dia ko enti e yampa say asase no ne ye mmoa ye ho say asem no to ye ne yampa say no mo da double ye ka say de ye gusu a tent ne ebi be ka ho a okwa hase say obun say si fresh one o ha ye di ya locate bi no my ide akọ Appiatse nkoma ye di no omo fan so madu na sa na etie na oko bebi a na omote o site no a place no a ewo ho no a na omote no nipa ewo ho omumu ye almost about 300 and over I say see omo dan edemo na ohwe space na dan no ebobo ho enti so person see dan no I say demarcations it means say the city no a say aban abono ho modern say oba be see no blog dan ediamomo toilet and bath bebam ensuo bebam ye be street atotum ye be side the transformer no nyuma nyina ko ho.
Meet Appiatse, a pregnant woman who was at home resting with her 3 children last occurred.
No matter, I'm shedding me senti. It comes massa. Name me bear kwame down a bear quano. Timothy dad and apino. Mu pray, mudu and who de joe. Bam kitamo from her. Timmy Gwen and name you make it. They be my man away. Timmy Majuna met it outside the Menyam banner cora. Na deno, a dan bobu gumedo. Into a come and you a hack a crea. Muda blade the birquana, Mitiano, or what chum. Timmy Mona me were asida. Do a night the way I miss you, Mojano. Nyada obo to my. I know what them quafion quanta. I don't why I mean you at them. Minti them. At night I mean you at them. Mamma is the answer. Ya na kasanel bebe ya maswa nye papa ma si a iginechi pa muhu chide be mu dada ya mehu ya mpa metu me mpa boy na de ko china po nka da mkatina mkro na mimide ya minti ya boko.
We then meet another young widow who's also left with 3 children, a very young widow at that.
Mposha sam ni sin me kunu firi Tama ejeto aka no usane ase o mi sane ase o ba dam tam na ejeto aka no de ekohwehwe nkola ni na mo be fie na ye de sane ase ba oni de bebia na ogina no emu twinsin bebia na me wono nti we ni to ye ne de me titoy me hu ni bie na me ko fi mko na nkola ni ni wona ma se ne de omo afa bush nti nkola no kwa na mko hu ba mi prime na e papa mo de me ko hospital ba me ko endem ko to so da ba minim se we prana do sa tam ni na no ni ho bi ntimi ade chin na masika chem se me kunu fi e so chance ni na ne ba dan de cracking sabe e blog dan ti oni de siwa de black lines didem and chance dan de eniso ya ti bibi sa so mbesi edan na me ba minim endadodo a yebedi ne hansa ifi ha ko me kun fi me de na obi kasa menti e ya na meti ho na me refim bebi amadwen da no se meti ho a enkomo oni me de ne madwen kosiso eno ano no ugina ha wo kasa cheme me hu se ugina ba de wo kan de menti.
In spite of all that, the people of Appiatse are getting their lives back together. A whole community raised down. But they have the goodwill of the people and businesses scattered around the region, as well as the entire nation. The Prestia Sankofa Gold Company stopped by at the camp to make a donation. They brought with them some roofing sheets, as well as 2 huge cows. This, they explain, will go a long way to help in the feeding of the residents at the relief camp.
Our widows might will not sit down, and just watch them. We also do what we can do. So we put our strength together and we have brought this. It might look small, but we did a needs assessment research as to the things that they might need most. And we realize that food items have come, rice, oil, sugar, but the protein part is not so much. It's not balancing well. So for them to have a balanced diet when eating, that's why we decided to bring the cows, so that they can also have adequate meat, that is protein, to be adding to their food.
Whenever we talk about dynamite, what happened at Appiatse? Reminder to all concerned that when we ignore safety precautions, we are putting lives at risk.
And Alan has joined me in the studio. He visited that community and he brought us that report for Keep an Eye. We understand that tomorrow some of the families will be burying their dead, and on Thursday some of the funds started being released to the families by the government. Alan, it's been a couple of days now since you came back from that. Share with us your experiences talking to the people. I heard the woman who lost vision in her eye, and it still feels very, very real for them, doesn't it?
Well, thank you very much, Thelma. First of all, let me pay a huge tribute to the people of Appiatse and the team who went to Appiatse with me. They were a great guys, and everything came to this because of their efforts. Without them, obviously, we wouldn't have gotten these great shots and these great interviews we got of the people. To come to your question, the lady who lost sight in one eye, Appiatse, her name is, not only has she lost sight in her eye, she's also lost one ear. And so if you speak to her on that side of her face, she wouldn't hear you. And then she can't see from afar, even in that eye with some good vision. And so she's still going through the mill to get her life back together. She needs to go through some kind of therapy to get herself. And she's got 3 children with her, also pregnant. She didn't talk about the husband. She didn't talk about any father. So you can only make assumptions on her if we do. So we'll leave that to the side. But generally, you talk to people in Appiatse and you realize immediately that some help still is necessary. They do really need help. And if you're watching this documentary this morning or you're watching this feature this morning, there's only one appeal. Appiatse still needs help.
Appiatse still needs help. I think it's a perfect way to wrap it all up for the reports that you just saw. Reach out to the community and send help. GBC and its partners, of course, will be willing to help you contact the right authorities to make it happen. This has been Keep an Eye. Next, we'll have our tech conversation, and CAF is going to look into Ghana apps and software after this.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
I am 4 years old.
We are 12 years old.
It's been 1 year since I started my antiretroviral treatment.
You can live a long, productive life with antiretroviral treatment. With antiretroviral treatment, HIV-positive expectant mothers can have healthy HIV-negative babies. Go to the nearest health center, test and know your HIV status. If you are positive, ask about antiretroviral treatment and you will receive help. Antiretroviral treatment is your only option for a long and fulfilling life.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
The main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
show what a jar or bar anyone conquer dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
Woman malaria and kawon to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA, Ashasa, a Jedi in Kratoi Ajatu.
All SIM cards in Ghana must be registered again with only the Ghana card. Yes, only the Ghana card.
You will not be able to make voice calls, use mobile money services, internet, and all other services linked to your SIM card if you don't.
To register, dial *404# and follow the prompts. You will be required to send the following details on your Ghana card: Ghana card number, surname, first name, date of birth, and sex.
You will then receive a special code which you will send to the service provider agent or customer care center for your biometric details to be captured. Remember to add your digital address.
Dial *404# on your phone to start registering your SIM card today.
For more information, contact your service provider on 100 or the National Communications Authority on toll-free number 0800 110622. Register your SIM card to stay connected.
Can you believe it? You were looking at a 600-year-old building. I mean, if it was built in 1421 and we are now in 2022, that's 601 years. Fantastic. Amazing stuff. Welcome to our conversation that we have every Friday on issues of technology. And I want to start this conversation, first of all, by introducing my guest, who is going to talk to us about made in Ghana software and apps. Mr. David Jedu, the CEO of DK Cyber. Good to have you here.
Great.
And I love the way you're looking, just like Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
Happy Heritage Month to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so this is the quote I want us to start this conversation with. And it's by Ibrahim Hashim on Twitter. He says, "Now the world knows why China has built its own internet, its own social media platforms, its own tech industry, and its own e-commerce companies. Either protect your sovereignty and take your fate in your hand, or be at others' mercy and be controlled by them. The choice is simple." Tweeted this out on the 2nd of March 2022. 4,500 plus retweets and 12,000 plus likes. And it's really important, and it's why we're talking about made in Ghana software and apps this morning.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Thanks,
and
Kathy.
it's all in part of our Heritage Month celebrations, because it's not just about dancing and eating akple and fufu, but also looking at what Ghanaians are doing in the tech space. How are we doing in the tech space these days?
Oh, thanks, Kafu, and good morning to our viewers. So in the tech space, Ghanaian developers or software developers, they are doing quite well. There's still room for improvement. So yes, they are doing very well.
This one, we're going to go straight into business and then show some of the things that great Ghanaians are doing. Which app do you want us to start with first this morning?
All right, so Kaf, I think we should start with the Express Pay.
Express Pay,
yes.
Okay.
It's been one of the great apps today we've got in Ghana here, and I think most of people are using it today. Now, when you talk about Express Pay, what is it? Express Pay simply means that you can easily make payments. You can pay bills through this on your mobile phone. So if you have the app installed on your mobile phone, if you go to your platform, you can pay bills. You can also top up your data to all networks. So it really supports the interoperability features that we are having now. So ExpressPay is one of the Ghanaian developed softwares that is widely used today on the internet, and I think that we should really be proud of it, because a lot of people are using it. And if you look at the security, because I look more into the security, it's very secure. You know, in security we won't have it 100%, but yes, it is secure. So we can check it out, expresspay.gh.com, or you can go to Play Store, App Store to download the app and start using it. It's a quite great app that I think that we should use it.
And I'm excited. I didn't know it was made in Ghana, so that when you telling me this excites me a lot.
Yeah, it's a Ghana app.
Okay, so for payments through your phone,
yes, please.
You want to be looking at expresspay.gh.com. Note it down as a made in Ghana app that you want to patronize. Okay, so what else can we look at?
So one great platform or site I want to share is Kudi Go.
Kudi?
Kudi.
Kudi, is it not Hausa for money?
Yes.
So this is a money app?
Yeah,
right?
it's not really a money app, right? But it's Kudi Go. So Kudi Go simply means that you taking inventory. So when you go to Makola, the people who are selling, how do they take their stocks? How do they take inventory? How do you even track how well your product is doing? Do you know the day that your your shop is going to expire? So Kudi Go is a great platform. When you sign up to, you have a database whereby you can keep your expenses, you can keep the product expiry date, you can keep inventory of it. So when you go to the platform, so they have it there, so you can really check it out to see kudigo.com.
KUDIGO.com.
Yeah, Kudigo.
And so if they say we make retail possible,
yes,
that's their slogan. Yeah. So give me a practical example of how somebody could use Kudigo.
All right, thank you. So assuming you operate a small mini shop, let's say Nyamebechile shop in Makola, and you want to really keep an inventory of your product that you have. You want to really track how your sales is doing. You want to track your product. You want to know that, oh, this time around I have this product in stock and this number of days is going to expire. So you can use this platform to keep inventory of it. So they do management of inventory. They can even check off your expenses. Most of the people today, they don't know how much they're even spending in their business. So you have to be able to check, and even your customers, how to even manage your customers, right? And most of the times what I do check is, before I buy a product, I do check the expiring date. So some of the stores, they don't know even if this product is expiring or not. They just put it in their store, and because they really don't track it. So this platform is a great platform for you to really check it up. And the good news is it's being developed by the Ghanaian, so you can really take advantage of that. And they do, and it's a very simple, clean-cut app to use, right? So that one too, you have it on the App Store and the Play Store, as well as you can use the web base on Google.
Okay, so Kudigo.com.
And
it's available as an app as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. In case you just joined us, these are made in Ghana apps and software we are celebrating on Heritage Month on GTV. And if you have a made in Ghana app that you want us to feature or to talk about later on, or even late during the messages, send it to us, 055-556-1034, or one that you are using that is really great. We would love to hear from you. My guest is David Jeru, CEO of DK Cyber, and we're looking at made in Ghana apps and software. Anything else?
Yes, Kaf, we have 15ghana.com. 15ghana.com. And I really love this platform. You know, there's been some times that we've shared about how we can do freelancing. Freelancing, I can sit in my home to do business online. And there's a good news for us Ghanaians, that we have our own developers who have created an app like that, a platform like that, that you can really make money, or you can really sell out your skills on the internet. So you can check it out, 15ghana.com. When you go to this platform, if you're a graphic designer, you can sign up there. People will come there and hire for your service. If you're a web developer, a content creator, you can go there, photographer, you can go to that platform. And it's developed by a Ghanaian.
15ghana.com.
So this one is competing with the Fiverr, the Coursera. So you see, I really love this platform, and I really applaud the guys who really developed this platform. So I think now it's on the Ghana web, or it's a web base. So I believe that they are also working on the apps, so that at least you can also download it to use it. So we can check it out, 15ghana.com.
So if you are a photographer, graphic designer, an author, copywriter, proofreader, You just go there. So you can bid for work.
Yes.
And then people who also want work can ask you.
Ask for your service.
Okay, great. And it's developed by Ghanaians.
Yes, Ghanaian.
15ghana.com. Listen, we're giving you resources. So you're sitting at home, you went to school, you studied graphic designing, you don't know how to get work in these hard times. Ghana is hard these days, very hot. Go to 15ghana.com. Yeah, instead of just looking at twerking girls on TikTok, you can actually get your business out there using these made in Ghana apps.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very big on made in Ghana.
Yeah, so you can see it. It's right on the screen.
It's right there on the screen. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, any more? I'm excited.
Yes, Calf. Do you know that today you can farm online?
You can farm online?
Yes, Calf.
Sure, like a...
Yeah, completefarmer.com. Go and check it out.
Completefarmer.com.
Yes.
How does it work?
So this is how it works. You know, some of the farmers, it's hard for them to even, this platform, when you sign up, when you start, they can guide you when you have a crop, how you are growing it, or you are in the season where you have to weed. You're in a season where you have to maybe give it water it, and even the very good thing about this is they even take care of even how you can even sell it to other customers on the platform.
Really?
And they are connected internationally. So if you produce cashew, you produce cocoa, and you want to sell it globally, you don't want any middleman to come in, you can sign up on a platform, then you get a buyer. So it works like the way Tonaton and OLS work. So you can go there, you find a buyer, you can get a buyer over there, you can get someone who wants to even invest in what you are doing. Yes, so it's a great platform that I think that we should look into. And this platform was developed in 2017 and they are still enhancing it. It's developed by a Ghanaian, right? So completefarmer.com is a website I think that you have to check out. Now, you know, farming is becoming advanced, and you know, it is good that we take advantage of the tech industry to look into farming so that we make agriculture lucrative for us all. It's not just about going to the farm. You can go and sign up to this platform. You get producers who produce the product and find a way that you get them a buyer. So another business that you can also think around. You know, we can't cook everything for you, but when you go to the website, you look at how the things work, you understand it, then you also look at how best you can also make money out of that platform.
What? You know, this is serious. You're sitting somewhere in Blamazado or Fanchini Cobra or I don't know, Pesingpe, and you can actually get your stuff out there globally through completefarmer.com. And this is a made in Ghana app. If this is not good news, I don't know what good news is, all right? Any more?
Yes, Calf. You know, people who love to read books. I believe you are a teacher.
Yes, I read books.
So, you know, we have a platform called AkoBooks.net.
Ako like the parrot?
Yes. AkoBooks.net.
Okay, AKOOBOOKS.
Yes,
.net. Okay.
Yes, so when you get to this platform, what you can do is, assuming you want to read a book, but maybe you don't want to read it from maybe the English environment or the book was written by, like in an English, and now you want it in your own dialect, let's say Fanti, Ever, you can go to this platform and listen to an audio.
Oh, so you have audiobooks there?
Audiobooks.
AkoBooks is audiobooks.
Audiobooks.
Okay.
And even this platform, sometimes they do even ask for services from people who can translate. So assuming a book written by someone, maybe a book written by Kafu yourself.
In fact, I just wrote a new book.
Yes, yes.
From talent to career.
Yes.
So if I want it translated?
Yes, people can go and translate into all kinds of different dialects or local dialects, to Ewe, to Fanti, to Dagoma, all the languages you can translate, even to Portuguese. They are even language, international languages to on that platform. So I think it's a great platform that we have to look for. So AkoBooks.net. The .com has been transferred now to .net.
Okay.
So we should rather check the .net.
Okay.
AkoBooks.net. If you search for the .com, it works, but that is not the right platform. It's AkoBooks.net. Yes, so you can check it out, AkoBooks.net.
Take note of that, AkoBooks.net, if you want to get your audio books, if you want to get books in various languages. And this app was developed by Ghanaians. Okay, it's made in Ghana. So this is our Heritage Month. It's really rolling, man. I feel like I'm a little boy, Christmas Day, and then you're just bringing me gifts.
Yes.
What is the next gift that you can give me? What other app is there?
Music lovers.
Yes, you're talking to me now.
Yes, I know, right? So aftown.com.
Aftown, AF.
Yes, .com.
Okay, what happens there?
It's a great platform for people who love music to go there. So, you know, we have boom play by the Nigerians and now making waves in Ghana here. But this is developed by Ghanaians.
Aftown is Ghanaian?
Ghanaian. So when you go there, you can listen to this Amachi the Day for even 5 CDs.
Is it a bit like Spotify?
Yes, so they are advancing it and it will get there.
Okay.
It will get there. So if we have your support, if we all understand and also patronize what we have done, you know what you read just before we start the program?
Yes, that quote about the
Yes, it's
China.
very powerful. We have to start thinking a way that we can create our own things. Right now, some time ago, I think Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook, WhatsApp.
They shut down.
They shut down.
Yes, and you came and talked about it.
Yeah, we spoke about it, and you see, like, it was so messy. You could see people just coming out of their car looking at it because they think that, I don't know, their whole life is coming to an end.
And you know what I learned? I learned that with that shutdown, Telegram gained 70 million new subscribers.
New subscribers.
Because Telegram was developed by Russians.
Yes, and as well as Signal. Understand? They got new subscribers.
Are you sure they did? They are not the ones who shut the people down.
Oh no, but that was a technical problem from their side.
Right.
So we are saying that if we do patronizing our own product, right, our own apps, we have a lot of apps. Sometimes they have some challenges I believe we'll talk about, but these are great apps at Aftown.com. You can go there to listen to music, to download music, and pay some small token. They can also support.
How small is that token, my brother?
Sometimes 5 cedis.
5 Ghana. To listen to all the music you want.
Understand?
Is it a monthly, recurring monthly thing? So
it depends on the category sometimes you choose here.
Great. So after I did not know. Aftown.com. Is that it?
Yes, Aftown.com.
Aftown.com. Yeah. Charlie, more. I want more.
Yeah. So, Kalf, do you know that we have other database that we've created around health. We call them healthbook.com.
Healthbook. How spell that for me? HEALTH. How do you spell
then
the
book? Then the book is BUK.
Okay, .com. Healthbook.com. All right.
So here you can, when it talks about health, so here you can grow your health conditions, assuming maybe you're a hospital, you have a pharmacy, and now you want to manage it. So it's like a one platform whereby you can manage everything that you have with your health. And also it's a platform that maybe as a user, I can also go there to check up for maybe pharmacies, get other platforms on that website. So I believe that we should all explore it this morning. They are still enhancing it, they are still building it. So we have to try to go through it very well.
Okay, so healthbook.com.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
A couple more before we wrap up.
And Kav, I want to also talk about the game lovers. So that one, I think that most of it is on the Play Store. So I know this one is not on App Store, but it's on Play Store. That is Kakum Forest Run.
Kakum, spell for me, Kakum Forest, Forest, Run. RUN.
Yeah. So it was like the temple run that. But now in the Kakum,
we are jumping inside Kakum Forest.
Yes, and it's fun game that I wish that if you're on Play Store, you can go and download it up and you check it out. And also we have Owari.
Owari is also online.
Yes, Owari. So Owari, we have Owari Masters on the App Store and Owari 2 on the normal Android Play Store. You can also check it out for that. And we have Owari 3D. So we have a lot of Ghana games that I think
we can play.
We can play.
Listen, I've been so educated. It's not even funny at all. I didn't know that all these apps were made by Ghanaians. And we want to take some of your messages. I mean, if you have any suggestions of other apps that we've overlooked, because, I mean, there are going to be so many. You can send them to 1055-556-1034. Just before she runs off to the funeral, Tama will read a couple of messages for us.
Thank you, Kav. Thank you for sending your messages across to us. I'll just read a few, as many as I can. Kav, good morning. Please ask if the apps are all acceptable internationally, especially the payment.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's accepted?
Simple.
Okay. Good morning, Efo Thelma and Nathelma Message. Hey, that's a lot of names. I need to check these webs out. Rhoda is saying this and using the hashtag we love to see. And I want to pick Dexel's thoughts on whatever he's sending us. This is what I got from 15.com. Is that what you should see when?
No.
What is the mistake he's making here?
15ghana.com.
Yep.
I checked and this is the one I got of myself.
Okay, so he should keep looking.
Yes, he should.
Okay,
even
so
we
many
projected
eyes
it.
We projected it. Yeah, we projected it on the screen. So yeah.
So keep looking, Dexel. You'll find it. Good morning, GTV CAF. You're looking good, Pa. God bless you. And I said I really like Africans. I wish you well, Amenyo. Amenyo, you sound like you're also African. So
we're looking like real Africans.
We're looking like real Africans. Of course we are. So keep your messages coming in and we'll be back to read a few more. I'm sure that when people see me on the screen, then it just keeps buzzing. So is trying out some of the things you've said. Good morning, Togbega. Kudos to your guest. I tried to download the Pay Express, but it's 2. Which one is the best? So we'll try and get some help. The first one is better.
Awesome.
Okay, Trisha, so try the first one. Good morning, Na. I am an interior designer. What app should I download? Are there any apps for interior designers to
I'm pretty
explore?
sure. I'm sure if you go to the App Store and you type in interior design, they will come up. It works like a search engine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try that. More messages. Good morning, Honorable Kaf and Dr. Jedu. In fact, I really learn much than I expected whenever this champion, Dr. Jedu, comes on. Please don't change your style, because in no time we'll champion this GTV BFS in Parliament. Mina Hunter, some of the things you say.
Too many vibes, man.
Nice, best show in the morning. I think I completely agree with Togbe on that. Someone is proud of you. I'm proud of you, my brother, Motown brother Kafui from 9. I'm sure there's a year coming.
19, that be name. 19.
The person's name is 19.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. I'll just read one last one from Togbe. Any app for fitness trainers?
So many, I'm
sure. Yeah, there are so many. So anything that you think of, just go to the Play Store and just put it in there. But sometimes you have to also check it out. Some of the apps, is developed by these fakes. So these are scammers and fraudsters. So normally what you do is you check the number of downloads.
Yes.
And the number of stars. It might be a new app, but you check the number of downloads, number of stars that it's got. At least you can review that.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Oriadon, she comes back later, before the funeral, to talk about headlines with her female cast. Would like to say thank you so much, David, Jedu, CEO of DK Cyber, for just educating us. We're going to put this list of apps up on our social media. Just look for hashtag GTV Breakfast, and you'll see all these made in Ghana apps and software that he talked about. Final word in 10 seconds.
Before I sign out, Carl,
yes.
We have a challenge whereby the Ghanaian community, whereby they love the kids now download cartoons, toys, and they are all made by this Western culture, being animated in those Western culture. We hope that the Ghanaians to also the developers to also come in to develop apps. So that at least cartoon apps, cartoon games, right? So that our own people will learn it with our culture.
Thank you.
Right? We have this animated where all these tribes in a cartoon game, and that would be perfect something for us.
This is the way we can sign off on this segment. Thank you so much. Happy Heritage Month to you, and catch him every Friday here for Tech Issues. I'm ending with that quote. Now the world knows why China has built its own internet, its own social media platforms, its own tech industry, and its own e-commerce companies. Either protect your sovereignty and take your fate in your hands, or be at others' mercy and be controlled by them. The choice is simple, and we're patronizing made in Ghana apps. Coming up is the conversation on breakfast with Thelma in about 20 minutes, and I'll be sitting with Rudolph Walker, actor, to talk about things, entertainment and performing and arts. And just to say, Rit Cultural is responsible for the way I look this morning. I'm a black collar. I have my collar around there. Tugbenya, Achidudu. And Rit Cultural, you can find them on Instagram, RIT Cultural 2, for all your African and Ghanaian wear. She's looking wonderful. She's representing royalty. She's a lioness. Rah! And she's coming with the sports news. Matiti up next with Breakfast Sports.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
And they call me UJ.
That's Vani Marhabi. Thank you so much for joining us on GTV Breakfast Sports. Your Jamsa Ombongo. I'm looking like a Dagbon lady who is going for any occasion in Tamale, Savulugu, Kumbung, Tolong, with my female smock, my trouser, my headgear, and then my slipper. So that's how I'm looking this It is Heritage Month on GTV Breakfast. We'll be looking at the President's Cup, we'll be looking at the GPL, the FA Cup, and some boxing. Let's start off with the President's Cup. And President Akufo-Addo has accepted the invitation by the Ghana League Clubs Association to honor the President Cup match between Accra Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko tonight. The two teams are meeting in yet another crunch encounter barely 2 weeks after their GPL Week 7 outstanding fixture that ended in a goalless draw. President Akufo-Addo took the opportunity to commend Galka for maintaining the tradition of playing the President's Cup during the independence celebration period.
By the late Alhaji Aliu Mahama.
First of all, you're all very welcome to the seat of the Presidency of Ghana, to Jubilee House. I want to thank you very much for this visit. And thank you for the invitation to be present at tomorrow's match. I accept it gladly. I spent a lot of time when I was very young following Asante Kotoko. And whenever they came down from Kumasi to play Hearts of Oak, in those days it was at Owusu Memorial Park. That's how old I am. It was before the stadium. It was a great day in the life of all of us young people in Accra. And I'm happy that this tradition is being kept alive and revived. I think it's to the credit of Galka that you are determined to maintain this tradition of the President's Cup to coincide with the national anniversaries. It's an excellent tradition, and let's long may it continue. I want just to re-echo the point that the chairperson made. The need for us to have a strong, vibrant league. It is a strong, vibrant league that will enable us to have a strong, vibrant national side. So I think all of us have to put our heads together to see the way forward as to how we can strengthen our domestic league. We'll be crying and complaining about no longer being a powerhouse in African football and not winning the cup and everything. I think it's a question of organization. And organization begins with organizing a really strong domestic league. The people in this room, plus the government side, will have to put our heads together to chart a good path for the future for the domestic league in Ghana. But that is for tomorrow. But for today, it's about tomorrow's events at the stadium. I'm looking forward.
Still on the President's Cup, let's look at some statistics, shall we? Now, Kumasi Asante Kotoko has won the two previous President's Cup games played on Friday against Hearts of Oak in Accra. That's today. In 2005, on 1st July, that was on a Friday too, Kotoko beat Hearts by 1-0, and the goal was scored by George Yamwa. Those of you who were probably at the stadium when this happened can recollect. On Friday, 1st July in 2016, Hearts and Kotoko were head-to-head, but it was a goalless draw as they played in 2016, 1st July in the President's Cup. Also, on 3-2 penalties in that same game. So after the goalless, Kotoko won 3-2 on penalties when they took the penalty shootout. The game today is at 6 p.m. and will be live on GTV and GTV Sports Plus. I will bring you all the details on Monday. Now let's move to boxing, where the former national ABU and Commonwealth lightweight champion George Ashi has called on boxing fans to report early at the Bukum Boxing Arena as he takes the UBO Super Lightweight champion Robert the Stopper Quay and IBF Africa Championship on Independence Day. The two boxers will weigh in at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and Ashi's trainer Vincent Akainete is confident their opponent will lose the fight.
All my fans, they know what I can do. So
Nobody holds him talking what he wants or what he likes. So that's what he said. But we are not going to end his career. We just beat him after he also found his way to succeed. I hope.
Meanwhile, Robert Quay has called for calm amongst supporters from both camps, saying boxers must lead by example in such local grudges.
If you like Besane Kawate press conference ni interview me you want to go about Be Gan Moko Beni Jie Sani ma introduce ye Kayani Moko ana if Moko ayo ne yakelele na kenyo Meji Moko ni aliake Benin boxing me ma fair off wa challenge. Why? Because Idiosh Inyejo Yegben fin ni anu be ke ruffian libi come no mojin come ni anu kwale cabinet okwe eyan ninu mo am talent ni sani ma focus about my talent she no me fe ni iyaye na kamaja libia se she ni ka she ni wo nini numo ke amiji ikebo osmo yami machumbe na fe manye machun world champ ni inshallah nini yo be kuku omi abana Robert ko aka think big make a wet tighty mbagana no you all anukwale George nye you about because George
that definitely is an interesting bout to look forward to. Let's look at the Ghana Premier League. They'll be coming up this Sunday. Now, Accra Lions, Real Tamale United, let's start off with the Lions of the North. We'll take on Legon Cities on Sunday. Accra Lions will take on Great Olympics. Bechem United will take on Bibiani Gold Stars. Mediama SC will take on Mediama LC will take on Bibiani Gold Stars. Dreams FC will take on Elmina Sharks. Hearts of Oak will play against Wafa on the same Sunday, 6th March, which is the Independence Day. Karela United will play against Ashanti Gold. Ken Faisal will play against Adriana Stars on the same Sunday, 6th March 2021. And then the Lions of the North, as I mentioned early on, will take on Legon Cities FC on the same Sunday, 6th March 2022. So these are the about 7 games that will be played in the Ghana Premier League on Independence Day in the Ghana Premier League that you should look forward to, and we shall bring you all the details on Monday. Let's move to the FA Cup. Our National League Boreham Wood's incredible FA Cup journey came to an end, but not without forcing Premier League Everton to dig deep for their narrow 5th round victory. The Hertfordshire club have been the story of this season's tournament so far with their incredible run, but
coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
So we try our suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do. We go straight to stardom. I'm gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. Back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't code next level.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, But I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
In Jija, woman malaria and kawon to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA, Ashasa, a Jedi in Kratoi Ajatum.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Hey, tell me what? Tell me what? Hey, tell me what? Tell me, beer.
Emma will worry me. Watch me, you come 1 week, Mr. Oh, now,
yes. Boga, now then, senior, name me a new man. Cut down, my business is a collapse. I'm out of banks.
So, we take quick credit, Inka.
Quick credit?
Yes, quick credit.
Who Pesica? We are government and a private worker. Who Pesica they are till hot so. We are Bosumi Juma. Who yes, Sicadia Bibin Tempe so. Quick credit, Bema loan, and what you are in Kakra. Now, and let just some Cassian say. A collateral free loaner, Susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBL. You hear me say, Ghana card. 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now 1 hour young. Who need excuse here? Quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833. Basina quick credit.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling healthy.
A la carte. Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African cup.
Yeah. Can I show what is written on the box?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn. So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Madam, we are doing it. Be very careful.
Thanks for staying on. It's still Breakfast Live on GTV, and it's Heritage Month on GTV as well. We are projecting everything Ghanaian the whole of this month. So today I'm dressed as a woman at a funeral, and it's a funeral of a great person indeed. Okay, so we'll be looking into the papers. Let me start off with some of the front pages of the different papers we have. The Daily Graphic is doing a special supplement for the 65th anniversary, and it's inside the paper. Stories dominating: provide affordable houses, President challenges sector players. Also construction work at the Obechabi interchange, photos from there on the page. Obechabi interchange progressing steadily. That's on page 20. Hand down big tax offenders. AG tax Iyoko, and Professor advocates alcohol tax to fund mental health. That's on page 16 of the Daily Graphic. Other papers I have before me. Daily Analyst says rising fuel prices. NPA engages finance, energy ministries on how to cushion Ghanaians. Children's career and educationist is advising parents. Police homicide boss mom goes home tomorrow at Angloga Lashibi. 6 pupils escape death following collapse of school building at Asing Damanko, and at Tinka TV launches Diasa Extra. Also on the front page, how mining capo in Takwa turned serial killer. That's also in the Daily Analyst. ABC News leads with Adjoa Safo goes on 1 month leave. Other stories: passengers load Ghana card process at KIA. Ghanaians have not forgotten, also captured on the front page of the ABC News. Man killed over dog meat, unit committee secretary, 2 others arrested. That story on page 5 of ABC. The Finder newspaper leading 28,152 vehicles in 15,972 crashes, an increase of 11.93% in crashes in 2021. Appiatse explosion probe: government has nothing to hide. That's according to Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources Samuel Abu Jinapo. His photo captured there. MTN to invest 1.5 billion Ghana cedis in infrastructure and network systems in 2022, according to the CEO. Photo there. Review single spine pay policy to address salary disparities. Delegates are the ones who are saying this. Prof. Botre to speak on economy and politics at 65th Independence Day lecture. That is also on the front page of the Finder. I've just been handed the Ghanaian Times, and it's leading with protecting public buildings against earthquakes. No funds for integrity audit. Engineering Council appeals to government. It also captures a story on RI Commission finds police 50,000 Ghana cedis for failure to release information to journalists, and that came with a picture of the IGP, Dr. George Ekufo Dampare. The other story on the front page of the Ghanaian Times: President urges stakeholders to find immediate solutions to high cost of housing, and also 20 million Ghana cedi compensation for poultry farmers affected by bird flu. That's according to Agric Minister Dr. Akoto. So these and other stories dominating the newspapers today. At the table, as I am joined every Friday, 2 strong ladies right next to me. Ellen Amadeko, she is member of the NPP National Communication Team and National Women's Organizer, hopeful, and also future presidential candidate. Welcome, Ellen.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Right next to her, Hajia Hamdat Ibrahim, former acting chairperson of the CPP and also future presidential hopeful. Good morning, Hajia.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming to the table.
Yes.
Thank you. So it's Ghana month and we are celebrating everything Ghanaian, our uniqueness, and at the same time the things that we have very much in common. So most people wear red to funerals around Ghana. So I'm sure that you can speak for your people when you see the red and black.
I mean, we are the originators of red and black.
Are
the
you sure?
Kwewus and the...
Are you sure?
Yes.
The Kwewus and the Ashanti.
Yes, yes. As far as the different forms.
Ghans also wear red for festivals. So when it's Homo, we wear red, and when there are funerals.
For us, it's basically for funerals.
As for us, we don't have a unique dress for funeral.
Okay.
Most of the men, they are in the traditional, that's the fugu. And then some women who are maybe occupying certain positions. You know, we have kings in the north, women. We don't call them queens, you know, queens today because they are chiefs of their various community. So they were like my sister, who is the Ghana of Zabzugu. She wears a very huge, big one when she's coming to funerals or any gathering. Ajay Shankar, good morning.
The Ghans have the leaders of these Asafo companies, as some may call it in Fantiland. So Ghans also have Asafo. And the leaders of these Asafo people, I'm dressed like an Asafo woman today. The leader is called the Asafo Anye. So she is the one who holds that little whip.
Yes, I've seen it. And you know, tell me, when I was coming, I was not much interested in the dressing, but activities that we used to do when we were kids, like the chaskilling, the shelves of the alikoto, that kind of thing. I was just thinking that chaskilling. And then that one, and then the contest, you use it to play, and so many things. You see, it's missing. So when I was listening to the guy talking about some apps that maybe local Ghanaian made that weekend, it's very, very important because our children are learning things that are not benefiting them, but rather deviating from our core values. That's how I see it.
I'm looking forward to when I'll see my godchildren with the cloth around their waist and running towards the wind.
That one too.
And running around the house. Those were exciting days. Thank you for bringing such lovely memories to mind, because growing up at Koligono, we were notorious for that. So key call there. Let's bring the children along in with
you kind of, you know.
The president is asking sector players to help in providing more affordable housing, and that story is front page of the Daily Graphic. Let me read a few in case you've missed it. So it's on first page 2, page 3. President Akufo-Addo has called on the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry and other stakeholders to collaborate with the government cheaper methods and materials to build stronger houses at affordable prices. He said one of the surest ways to deal with the 1.8 million deficit in housing was the ability to build homes cheaply, because we cannot continue to ignore the expensive methods of construction that have made housing here a virtual monopoly of the rich. Yesterday, GBC News was at that event, and let's hear what the president actually said.
The aspect of it is our ability to build houses cheaply. We cannot continue to ignore the expensive methods of construction that has made housing here virtually a monopoly of the rich. It shouldn't be the case. The richest country in the world, America, has some of the cheapest houses that you can come across anywhere in the world. Yeah, here in Ghana, and some small 3-bedroom house in East Legon, places is costing you $350,000, $400,000, $500,000. You get mansions for that in many parts of America. Yes. $100,000, $200,000 maximum. That gives you a very well appointed home, because the materials that go into construction in the United States are local, they're indigenous, and they are very, very cheap. We need to find a solution to how we can build strong houses here, but cheaply.
President Akufo-Addo in that meeting there with the chamber, and I find that it's quite a timely call, especially for young people, isn't it, ladies? Because people are trying to put up a building and perhaps get off the rent market, but the prices are proving to be a challenge. And it's like the president said, it's the materials. Helen.
Good morning to you. Good morning to our viewers. Good morning, Hajia.
Good morning, my dear.
And good morning to all the NPP women watching me. You know, I can't come here without saying good morning to them. Now, about this housing matters, it's a bit, I don't know the word to use. It's depressing, it's heartbreaking, and when you have to rent a house, that is when you actually know how bad the situation is. So the president's call is actually so timely. You were talking about somebody getting off the rent market. A lot of people do not need to get off the rent market. In fact, if the rent is very low, people would prefer renting houses than to even build. But the rate at which and the monies we pay for rent, sometimes when you do your calculations over time, it is better that you build your own or you buy your own. Now you get ready to go buy your own or build your own, you are going to face a lot of issues. As much as I do agree that the land, the materials are a major part of the issue, as the president said, there are other things too that makes the whole building industry very expensive. Land acquisition. Land acquisition. As for me, I'm an expert in fighting land guards. And I've gone through the situation of fighting land guards and how difficult it is to actually, you know, claim ownership and keep ownership of your own land. You have to go through that process of trying to maintain your land when it's yours. Then you have to start the whole process of building. And then the prices of cement, the prices of iron rods, everything is expensive. So it makes even buying a house. The president spoke about East Legon. As for the East Legon, let's leave it for those who can afford it. Let's just go to Kaswa and Amasaman and, you know, the outskirts of town. Even there.
It's very expensive now.
Even there. As for East Legon, it's when you have some money that you start heading towards there. Let's just have those of us who live in these outskirts. Now, I think in Kaswa, not even Kaswa proper, the outskirts of Kaswa too, you will not get one plot of land for less than 30,000, 40,000 cedis. That is even if you are lucky and you are the only owner of that land. So the president's call is very, very, very timely. The people in the building industry, I don't know why we are all fixated with living in cement and brick houses.
That's it.
What is it with cement houses? Can't we have the wooden houses? But can't we have there are 1,000 and other ways of other materials we could use?
But we also want to protect our forests. So where do we draw the line?
But then the forest, we rather take our forests, take them down and export it to other people who would use it to build their houses. So the exports we are taking out, the things we are taking, if Ghanaians show interest in living in wooden houses, I don't think we'll have a problem with the materials to use. Okay. It will be cheaper.
Let's pick.
But most of us do not want to live in wooden houses. I don't know the sudden connotation we have put as if when you live in a wooden house, you are not living in a house. We don't want to live. And then when you even go to our old ways of building, is it the thatch houses? Can't we actually put in technologies to make it even better? Because sometimes living in the cement houses.
I think there's a hotel in Tamale, Global Dreams or something. They built the round houses.
Ajah, we want to be modern and we want to be hip and we want to appear.
What is modern?
Appear that like we've also arrived.
We are rather copying blindly. Good morning to you and then good morning to our cherished viewers out there. You know, on the 8th is International Women's Day, and maybe we will not be on set. So I want to take this opportunity to wish all women in this country and across the globe happy International Women's Day. Telma, when you look at the way we build our houses, and then Helen spoke about land acquisition. You even have a land. We have a land around the barrier. We put a gate around it. Somebody is building in that land.
Which barrier?
Kaswa barrier. You see? So if I struggle and then take that land, there's even a footing. I mean, how do you call foundation on it? But somebody has moved in and he's building. So we are in courts. You understand? So it is very, very difficult because there's no proper documentation of land in the country, who owns what, who can sell what. I can tell you, I can mention a tribe that are not even from Ghana. They are the land guards who are protecting land for people and even also acquiring some of the land and building on it. So which means there's no discipline in our building industry. But coming to what the president said, okay, fine, it is in the right direction, but what is government going to do to also help the industry to be able to build houses that will be affordable to Ghanaians? There's a company that is advertising on one of the TV or radio stations that around Amasama, they are building 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom. They also is affordable. When you come, we'll talk, we'll give you a plan. But tell me, if you're going to roof a house that is about 3-bedroom house, and then now they're saying we are not using maybe wood, there is this trusses. The trusses and the roofing itself, without the inner, it would cost you about 70,000. Just that, 70,000.
Because even
you understand?
Now that you mentioned wood,
yeah.
it just brought that into sharp focus. It's about 22,000, 23,000 plus just for the roofing part of the house. So if you need
not 22,
but that's 22.
I said 60, 70,000
for the roof.
The trusses,
so
and the trusses. Sorry, trusses. And if you add it to the if you add it,
but the wood is 22.
If you add it to the cement, the sand, now sand the trip instead of the 1,200, it's about 1,400 now, and then the chippings. We use mortar now, not the strong stones. It costs a lot. All boils down to the fuel prices, because if you buy formerly we were buying it for 1,000 Ghana cedis. We call it a Chinese tipper truck, but now it's 1,200 because they said fuel. So I think there are so many things that add up for the buildings to be highlighted, but I think they're adding too much profits. And how many people can afford a house of maybe it's only Ghana, the corporation in Tamahari, TDC, they are advertising a house for 51,000 or 52,000 Ghana cedis.
But what would be the size? How many rooms?
Oh, but you know how the rooms will be. Maybe it will not be spacious the way you want it. But I think if we look locally and start maybe looking at the clay industry, we can use bricks. It can lower the cost of our buildings, because if we are going to be interested in putting blocks together like that, it is very, very difficult and very, very expensive. Because if somebody just leaves the university and he or she wants to put up a house, and even if he goes for
university, why would you want to put up a house?
No,
I'm just
giving an example. Maybe if you want to put up a house and then you enter into an agreement with a bank, they give those facilities and then be taking it bit by bit, but the quantum of money that they will be demanding because of the risk involved, because they say maybe if you're not able to pay, what happened? And then so many people pay halfway or maybe 75%, they are not able to pay, then the banks will come and say that they are taking back the building. So there are so many things that we have to look at when we're going to talk about the building industry. Government too can do something now, because governments have done it before. We have the it was built during the Champions time. We have the low-cost houses during Nkrumah's time. I was not born and bred in Accra, so I can only talk about Bolga. That's why I'm bringing Bolga issue. You acquire the land and then build houses that maybe workers can live in. You understand? Not everybody can build a house. Okay, not everybody can build a house. And those who want to be in a maybe government rented apartment, then they can afford, because my area like this, somebody built a very huge apartment, single one room, self-contained, everything is there, and it's charging 700 a month. How many people can afford the 700 a month? So I think if the president is calling the industry to see to that, I think the government too can do something by helping with because most of the things that they use are imported. They are not manufactured here. How can we localize it.
The president did make the case that a lot of the players in the sector are private.
Yeah,
and
they are
so
private.
Government had very little space in there. Even with the government affordable housing projects, we know that there have been issues, and some, as we speak, are empty, even though they are near completion and could be occupied. We have a 1.8 million, we are being told, deficit in our housing space. And so,
but you see,
if the main players are the private hands, what really can government do to make sure
what
that
I'm saying is that
things
what I'm saying is that the government can help in a way. When they went to meet him, isn't it? Maybe there are some challenges. What can government do to cushion them so that at the end of the day, their product will be affordable for ordinary Ghanaians to buy? That is where I'm coming from. I'm not saying maybe and the government too can build the affordable houses that we are talking about. But at the end of the day, these affordable houses, by the time they even put the first concrete, it's already sold. We don't even know.
I'll put this to Ellen then. How affordable are these affordable houses? and when we say affordable to who, Ellen?
To the ordinary Ghanaian workers, government workers.
The affordable housing. One, we need to get it completed. We have so many sitting out there in the bush with so many issues really on them, from the Kufuor one, now the Saglami one. And then when we finally get it done, because of all the issues that went into it, government would definitely sell it at a price that they would have to redeem the money they put into it, because we are all looking for value for money. And that is where the affordability practically, goes up in the air. Even those without issues, you are talking about TVs and all that. How many of us, how many of the young people even have the opportunity to even buy it? So when Nadia said TVs is selling for 50,000, 51,000, 50, how many young people even know about it so that they can even go and talk about it?
Oh, they advertise it. I heard it on radio.
TDC?
Yes, I read it on radio.
And then when you go there, some of us have had a few experiences when you go there, and then they tell you that it is finished. What they advertised for that you came, it's gone. Then the question you ask is, who took it? Is it the young people, or it is the same civil servants, the same older civil servants, government officials who already have places to live, and they have taken it and they are renting it out?
Is it time to regulate even buying of houses?
I think so. We have to find a way of making sure that the young people, as Hajia said, those who just got out of university, and you need to build a house or rent a place, you have access. There should be, I think there should be zones or some of these houses that are just for young people. And whether government will give it to them by rent, you pay rent as you pay as you rent, or rent to owe, or
whatever
system
is also quite problematic.
As for the mortgage system,
it's a problem.
This national TV, so I can't say it, but I would not advise anybody, any young person, to go for a mortgage, especially those who even do the mortgage in the foreign currencies. It is killing. So that one is a no-go already for us.
So it's better to, we will have to wrap up on this conversation quickly. But
well,
is it better to rent and then pay the monies you know is not going towards ownership of the house eventually?
You have to get some housing experts in here to educate the young people. Both of us are not housing experts.
No.
But for me, and the little experiences I have had in renting and trying to build, I don't think that it is a right financial decision to go for a mortgage and pay in the foreign currency. How are you going to deal with it when the dollar starts running? And that is where you pay 50%, you pay 60%, and there's an economic problem like we are having right now. And all of a sudden, the dollar starts going up. And then you realize that you now have to pay about 3-4 times as much. And then you lose the house and the banks come for it. So for me, as a young person who is trying to start out in life, going for mortgage, especially quoted in dollars or in foreign currencies, is a no-no. But we have to, as the president said, the industry has to come out with innovative ideas. I'm sure if there are wooden houses, house built with wood, house built with clay, house built with whatever is in our environment that are cheaper prices, a lot of young people are prepared to move in there with their families. Why not? What would if that was available.
But
it is better than paying the killer rent.
Building some extraordinary houses.
But if they can afford it,
maybe I'm sure
no,
they have a market
can
for
afford it.
If they can
fine.
afford it, why shouldn't they?
But you see, we can make simple. I'm talking about the ordinary Ghanaian. The housing industry can look at simple houses, 2-bedroom house with a hall, kitchen, that a young person can afford. You see, very few, those that are at the East Legon.
As I said, East Legon, we are not even looking there. When you start moving towards that side, then you know you are prepared.
No.
Those of us who are, we should be looking at the rest of us and the, as you said, the ordinary young people who are living.
Most of the land, even the farming lands are going for estate development.
The AG is tasking Iyoko to go and hand down big tax offenders. We are being told the government is attempting to widen the tax net and to make sure that everybody who should pay tax is paying taxes, and I'm guessing that it's one of the reasons the AG is asking for this. Daily Graphic story on page 16 saying the Attorney General, AG and Minister of Justice Mr. Godfred Yebo Adame has called on the management of the Economic and Organized Crimes Office Iyoko to focus on investigating serious tax frauds and prosecute big tax offenders, including multinational companies. He stated it was unjustifiable for big companies and entities to understate or hide their true income just to evade their tax obligations to the state. Elsewhere in the story, he's saying he was swearing in members of the new governing board of Iyoko in Accra on Wednesday. So this is what the AG is saying to Iyoko. He's saying, look, there are big companies who are paying very little taxes because they are under-declaring what they should be declaring in order to pay the full taxes. Surely this is a good call because e-levy conversations are still going on.
You know, Telma, I always say that there are so many loopholes in the system that if we are able to sort of tighten those loopholes, we'll even be able to get enough money in such a way that we won't even go and borrow. Because people are true, they are under declaring, people are invading taxes, people are cutting corners, and if the AG is saying Iyoko should go after those people, that's, first of all, we have to identify those companies that are invading tax. And then we should also look at our tax system, whereby we give multinational lateral companies tax holiday for 5 years. Meanwhile, when they produce, let me even look at the local, I don't want to mention the particular nationals, that they are producing soft drinks, water, competing with our local producers. Meanwhile, you give them tax rebate. Meanwhile, you don't give such facilities to our local industries. So at the end of the day, their products will even be cheaper than the locally, the local people. So I think it is a call in the right direction. People should pay their taxes, and then government will be able to rake more revenue for us because our expenditure is a bit high. They're saying about 900 and something people are in the tax net. So can you imagine? Or is it 1 million? And then can you imagine a country of 30 million now? And then a few, even let's take it only 2 million people are paying tax. Then I think the system needs to work in such a way that everybody should pay tax. Because some people are earning as about 100 Ghana cedis or 150 Ghana cedis a day, but they are not paying tax. The artisans, the carpenters, the masons, they can tell you that if you don't owe 1 year, you see. Meanwhile, how can we get all these people to pay tax? Because we go to Abuja and admire the place. What do you think they use to develop their country? It's the taxes that they take. We go for the loans, abuse even the loans with huge interest that we cannot pay. So I think we should look at a way to generate funds internally and stop this borrowing every day. I think the AG's call is in the right direction. Let's pay the tax. People who are not paying the taxes, let's identify them the big companies should pay tax, and then where they are not supposed to pay the tax, we know it already. We know it because they are giving set. But that huge tax holiday that they've been given, for me, it is not fair. Meanwhile, some people who earn less than 20 cedis are being taxed rather. So I think we have a lot to do as a country. Let's tighten the loopholes and make sure we rake revenue internally to continue. Yesterday I went to Lashibi and I drove through Nungua. The road expansion, I really admire it. If we're able to expand the routes, there will not be traffic, because the traffic that I face today, I was running. I came and did my hair, everything in your salon, because I didn't want to be stuck in traffic. But I was stuck in traffic. We need development in this country. We should allow people to come, milk the nation, and repatriate their 98% of their profit back into their country without paying us the proper tax. I think we should up our game and make sure we take what we are supposed to take as Ghanaians, as a government, to develop our country. That's how I see it.
Right. I'll pick your thoughts on this, Ellen, but quickly we want to stop by and pick the thoughts of our Majority Leader, Oseiche Mensah Bonsu, on a story captured on the front page of ABC News concerning the matter of the MP for Dom Kwabenya, Madame Sarah Adjoa-Safo, and the story on the paper is saying she's to go on a 1-month leave, and they are attributing it to the Majority Leader. He has been a guest on this platform before, and he's joining us now. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Thank you so much for joining us once again. Quickly, what can you confirm or deny about the story captured by ABC News saying Adjoa-Safo goes on 1-month leave and is being attributed to you?
Well, thank you for having me. Maybe we should get it right. I have not said that he has gone on 1 month leave. She rather is requesting to be granted 1 month leave of absence. And he dated the letter 28th of February 2022. The letter was submitted to the Speaker 3 days ago, and a copy was sent to me by her assistant, her personal assistant. So that's where we are. So I think I was asked about what is happening, and I gave the intimation that she is seeking permission to be out for 4 weeks, beginning the 28th of February.
Okay, so Honorable Majority Leader, what does that mean for the other time that she has not been in the chamber?
Well, according to the letter, it said she's been trying to reach the Speaker to granted permission to be out parliamentary duties, out from parliamentary duties. But the Speaker says that no such request has ever come from her to him. That's number one. Number two, it is the Speaker who grants the leave of absence if a person makes a request. I'm not sure of what the Speaker is going to do with this, so I'm not able to tell whether the Speaker is going to grant the request or not. So that's where we are with the request for leave of absence from Adjoa.
Honorable, the question about whether or not to declare her seat vacant seems to also be cropping up a lot of times. Is that something that you're even considering? Is it even possible?
Well, the Constitution and our own standing orders are clear on this. But if a person, that is in this case, if a person absents himself or herself from 15 sitting days in Parliament without the permission in writing by the Speaker, that person falls foul of the duties of that person. And that person would be put before the Privileges Committee. If the Privileges Committee summons that person and the person is unable to provide any justifiable excuse for the absence without permission from the Speaker or by the Speaker, that person will be culpable. And it's at that point that the committee will declare the seat vacant, or that the person ceased to be member of Parliament. Now, we are not there yet because, as I said, I don't know what the Speaker is going to make of this request from our colleague. One would also ask what becomes of the earlier days of absence. I think this particular letter makes mention of, tangentially though, of the earlier days of absence when she says that she has tried to reach the Speaker earlier on but was not successful. So, as I'm saying, I don't know what the Speaker is going to make of this request and the earlier days that she has missed. So, even if the Speaker refuses the request, and if anybody should activate the processes required to deal with this, as per Article 97 of the Constitution, then the matter will have to be referred, her conduct will have to be referred to the Privileges Committee. But we're not there yet, because I don't know what is going to happen.
Honourable, I want to find out what the party's plans are for her as well, because you're saying that a lot of this is up to the Speaker to decide. But what would the party want the Speaker to do in this situation, because she's a member of your team?
Well, the Speaker evaluates these requests case by case. I don't know what a party wants the Speaker to do. I think the Speaker he himself is an experienced member of Parliament. He knows the rules of the House and also is aware of the imperatives of the Constitution. So I want to leave it to the Speaker. I don't want the party to inject itself. And because we've gone through this before. In 1993, the NDC wanted to eject the then sitting member of Parliament, the member for Tapuba, Honorable Moses Mabenga, who was the member for Tapuba at the time. There was a notification between him and the chief whip of the NDC at the time, who was Alaji Isfedi, who was representing Tamale Central, and to do with the Konkomba and Numba conflict. And it engendered some altercation between the two personalities, the two members of Parliament. And the party decided that the younger man, Honorable Moses Mapimba, had been insolent to the chief whip, and that they were going to expel him from the party. And they realized that they couldn't do that. They thought if they expelled him from the party, it will lead to expulsion from Parliament. But they realized that the Constitution did not so provide. So eventually, they had to call for a truce between the two of them and call on Moses Mabimba to apologize. And that's how come the case got dropped. Moses Mabimba is a man who subsequently, under Professor Mills, became the regional minister of the region at the under President John Dramani Mahama, became the ambassador, Ghana's ambassador to Angola. So there is a system with a practice involvement in these matters, which is why I say that there are enough provisions contained in the Constitution and our standing orders. If the provisions have to be activated, you don't need the party outside to inject itself into this matter.
All right. I'm also looking at another publication in the same ABC newspaper, and it's titled "Adjo Safo other absentee MPs have already vacated their seats." And this is a US-based Ghanaian lawyer making the assertion that just by being absent, the MP and the others who are alleged to have also missed the sit-ins have mandatory and automatically declared their seats vacant. And the article is referring to Article 97(1)(c), and it's claiming that it makes it mandatory and automatic for a seat to be declared vacant after meeting certain conditions. And then he goes on to spell those things out. Can you reiterate for us what those conditions are once again? We know that there's a certain number of days that you cannot be away for without the express permission of the Speaker. But what other conditions are they talking? It's quite a lengthy one, so I just want you to sum it all up for us.
Well, in terms of this particular matter, if a person absents himself or herself from Parliament for 15 sitting sittings, and the sitting is a day's conduct of business, right? So if you absent yourself from 15 days of parliamentary sittings without the permission in writing by the Speaker, then you fall foul to Article 97(1)(c), right? You fall foul of that. Now, if you fall foul, there is no automaticity that will immediately fall foul, your seat becomes vacant. No. If you fall foul to it, you must go before the Privileges Committee. And the Constitution provides that if you appear before the Privileges Committee and you are not able to provide any justification, any reasonable cause for your absence, then the committee, if they are convinced by that, will issue a report that you were not convincing. And that then would mean that your seat shall be declared vacant or becomes vacant. So that is what it is.
Honorable Seche, thank you so much for sharing a part of your morning with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for me.
Thank you. And we'll get on to other questions on the matter surrounding Adjo Safo. Last week, Ellen refused to get into that conversation. So I wonder what your thoughts would be on this interview we've just done with the Honourable Majority Leader. I'll put it to
I don't know why Helen is running away from this.
I'm not running away. I just
it's most unfortunate. I think I heard the Majority Leader yesterday, and exactly what he said today. I think he was on Peace of Him or NEAT, one of the. I say it's unfortunate because in 3 days or 4 days time it will be International Women's Day, and then women are going to be celebrated. And should I say the leader of the women in this country, in this case, Honorable Adjo Safo, is far away in the US. And you asked the Majority Leader certain questions that I think, for me, because you asked him the previous days that she did not seek permission. And he has thrown that to the leader, the Speaker of Parliament. And then it is only the Speaker of Parliament who can either declare the seat vacant, and because I think Domeko Abenya needs their MP. Domeko Abenya, I live in Domeko Abenya. They need their MP. You see, we have to call a spade a spade. Ajwa should rather tell us, is she ready to come back or she's not ready to come back? Because every day give me 4 weeks. And then, you know, in some quarters, they're even saying that, women, you want to be given opportunity, and if you are given opportunities, this is how you behave. The people are talking.
But the majority leader also made the case that even if she's missed a certain number of sit-ins, she could come back with a genuine reason why she was away. So whether she's male or female, the other names that have been thrown into the absentee pot are not all females, but they are also absent.
Maybe
so
because of her position, her unique position, that is why people are highlighting them, because we don't even know the other members of parliament. I heard about the chieftaincy minister. Yes, that he's also absent. But yesterday, he said it is not true because 2 weeks ago, even was it a week ago, he came to his office.
Well, I heard other names. Because we want to give you the opportunity to make your own analysis of the issues.
Why I'm saying this is because of her unique position. She's the gender minister. She's the gender minister. And if you know, or if you recall, there are issues concerning school feeding issues under that ministry. And then we don't have our minister to see to that, not just school feeding. There are other issues. I wouldn't say because Josafu is a female, I'm not going to comment. I'll comment. Because if we do that, then when the men also do that, then we don't have the moral distance to talk about it. I understand Helen, it's her party. She doesn't know the step, distance she'll step on because she's gunning for the women organizer position. She doesn't want anyone. But you see, let's pray that after the 4 weeks, I don't know whether the MP, the speaker will grant her the 4 weeks. But I wanted you to ask if the speaker refuses or maybe said he can't, what happens? That question is lingering. We don't know. What happens?
The other question that's lingering is what would, if the e-levy debate was brought to Parliament, what that would mean for the two sides, knowing that the Honourable Ajwa
but the NDC said the MPP will not bring it now. You didn't hear them talking about it. Why should they bring and they don't bring it now?
So
that is why you think that, my dear, all this issue about Ajwa, I'm not sure it would have come up if they were still having their 169. True or false?
I would think it was.
This is, you see, that is it. But we need our gender minister.
It's a very peculiar,
because
situation.
International Women's Day is 8th of March. We celebrate our women. In most cases, the gender ministry, they organize programs, invite all political parties. We go there to talk. It can be for a walk. But I learned now today, I don't know whether it's the first lady or
other government officials, even appointees, the deputies.
Let me tell you,
the directors.
They can tell you that without the minister, there are certain things without the minister, you cannot do it. You cannot. There are certain things at the ministry, if the substantive minister is not there. That is why at times, if they send their deputies to Parliament, the Parliament will refuse to listen to them. Or you've not seen it before. We are praying that Ajwa should come back home.
But for International Women's Day, I would think that there are other equally great, the mother of the nation.
That is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
She's an awesome girl woman from Musu. The first lady, Mrs.
That's what I'm saying. The first lady she's celebrating it, I think, in Kumasi.
The vice president's wife, Haja Samira Baumia, also a sterling
the CPP, we are celebrating it. The National Women's Organizer of the CPP, we are celebrating it. And then I belong to this group, FOSDA. FOSDA too are organizing something in Nima, and I'll be part of it.
All of us are amazing.
All of us are going to do everything to make it unique.
We were talking about Iyoko before, and because Ellen is sitting this one out, I don't know if you have any quick comments. There's something in the Daily Analyst that I really want to pick your thoughts on. There's an educationist who is asking parents not to decide their children's career. I think that it's worth ending perhaps on that note, because Ellen has sat out Ajwa again for the second time.
And I'm going to sit it out for as long as it runs. Yes, on the Iyoko matter, a very quick one. We are all trying so hard with present global situations and the way things are going all over the world. It is quite obvious that we have to start looking for money inwards. The people from which we go for loans are themselves struggling. So going forward, I don't think any nation is too interested in giving us money as loans or grants or whatever it is. We now have to take care of ourselves. And at 65 years, I think it's high time we start taking care of ourselves. taking care of ourselves. One of it is plugging the loopholes of people who, I don't know, by whatever means, whether it is being bad citizens or whatever, decide that the tax that they are supposed to pay, they will not pay. The Attorney General has done just right by asking Iyoko to go after them. So let's go after them. If it means we have to confiscate their assets and sell them to make money, if it means, because they are breaking the law. Me, poor me. You come and take tax. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm running a business, I pay my tax. Whether I'm in formal employment, I pay tax. Even those of you in formal employment, the way you pay tax, sometimes I can see some of my friends, their pays and my stomach goes like, hey.
All that's for taxes.
The taxes that are taken out.
And other deductions. So if you belong to unions and stuff.
But those ones are for you. Well. But I'm talking about the taxes. Income tax. You pay it. And then you, the companies, you are supposed to pay tax. You have decided you won't pay. Iyoko should come after you.
Okay. The Daily Analyst.
This is a very simple matter. The Attorney General
like
shouldn't
ABC.
even be saying this.
Go after them.
And jail them if they don't pay. Sell off the assets.
Jail them if they don't pay, but don't interfere in your children's careers, is what the Daily Analyst is saying. And I'm guessing that both of you can relate. I mean, I look at my godchildren, I'm saying this person is going to law school. Ivana is going to law school. Nobody can change.
Let me tell you something funny about
so I think are we all guilty at this table?
Choice,
I know I am.
You see, I have a boy. When he was young, he likes arguing. Even though he's cool, then I tell him, you'll be a lawyer one day. Then the other one, very, very inquisitive. I say, hey, you are going to be a journalist because you like asking questions. And then Telma, the boy is a lawyer now, the girl is a journalist. She went through. But the other ones, I wanted one of them to go and do nursing. And she told me in the face, now she won't do it. What do you want to do? She told me. Now she's in the university. And I said, but let me tell you one thing. I want you to be a nurse, but you want to be this. If you look at the global market now, what you are going to do, unless you do it and do it and do it again, you won't get any job. But nursing there, you'll be posted to maybe Kumbungu. Since you said you don't want to do it, you have a choice. When you finish, you go and look for your job. Then she's smiling. But at times too, we force children to do, maybe take a career that they are not interested in. My dear, because if you look at nursing, most of the nurses, it's not their calling. Because of the way they behave. It's like they were forced to go and do the nurse. Because you go into the hospital, you are talking to a nurse, she's looking at the other direction. I went to Germany with my daughter for an operation. I was treated like the patient. I was treated like the patient. Then I said, is that how nurses behave in this country? And some nurses in my country, look at the way they behave.
There are some amazing nurses around.
That's why
I can mention loads of names of great nurses.
Some, but my dear, some of the nurses, they are not supposed to be in the hospitals.
Okay, so, but you are still making the case for your girl to be a nurse from the way you are speaking.
But that is why I'm saying, I was making the case, but her attitude will be the attitude of a person who is not supposed to be a nurse.
Because she doesn't want it.
Because she doesn't want it, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
I want her to do and she doesn't want. So if I force her, she'll be the one who will go to the, if you talk, then she'll be looking elsewhere. And I want her to save that. So I would rather follow what she wants.
Example of what my parents wanted me to do, and you see the totally different one.
That's how it is.
My father and mother insisted that every one of us did science at secondary school. My strength has never been in science. My sisters, excellent. They are the scientists. One is an agronomist, one is a medical doctor. So that should tell you that they are passionate. They were at the right place. I've never been an excellent. I've been an average science student. But when, unfortunately, I don't have a choice. If your father said you are doing science in St. Rose's, you do science in St. Rose's. So when I went to the university, I still continued. I did home science. After that, I said I'm done. I moved. I moved straight to business. And now I'm doing law, I'm into politics. My parents never envisaged me like this. Left to them alone. I bet you there have been some doctors sitting in the hospital. But when you look at me, do I look like a doctor?
This nice spectacle.
I do not have the personality, or I'm not interested.
So you
I would agree, yes, that sometimes.
Yes, you know, when I was in secondary school, our headmaster, we call him Copper Q, Mr. Kwanzaa. when we were going to write our final exams, he came and called two of us, myself and Mera Lasson. Put us under a tree with a photographer. I said, what is that? They're going to take our passport picture. I said, well, where are they taking us to? That would they want us to go and do nursing? I said, me. Nursing.
Without even asking
that he wants that.
Why? The thing is this.
And I said, me, I can't even hold a needle.
Parents
to pierce through
should guide their children.
But not to decide.
I do not blame my father for making me do science because I also learned a lot. It opened up my horizons. But what I loved about them was the fact that they allowed me to do what I want when I got into the university. And I'm doing what I want. You should guide your child because when there's no passion for what the child is doing, the person becomes a mediocre person. Every single one of us should find something that we are passionate about. I am passionate about politics. I am passionate about advocacy. And that is what I want to do. But if any of my children are not interested, I don't see why I should push them to become what they don't want to do. It's a matter of guidance.
Let me tell my mates in school, my family, they are surprised I'm in politics. The way I am in politics, they are surprised. They say, hey, at times they'll call me, hey, Ham, are you the one? I say, why? They're surprised. You see, things, well, human being can change. As for politics, is my passion.
What I've done, passionate politician.
I saw something in ABC I wanted us to talk about, but I think you don't want us to talk about
it. We may have to dash quickly, so if you have a few seconds.
It's about the population census and the statistics they give about family and divorce and
on
all
ABC
in the middle page.
Okay, so perhaps the next time we sit at the table, we'll get the opportunity to interrogate it a bit further. I've seen the story you're referring to. We'll tackle it another time. Thank you, ladies, for being a part of this program. Ellen Amadeko, member, National Communication Team for the ruling NPP and National Women's Organizer, Hopeful. Hajia Hamdat Ibrahim, former acting chairperson of the CPP, also a presidential hopeful in the future.
Oh, inshallah. My campaign manager is
Thank you, ladies, and thank you to the Honorable Osei Chairman Sabonsu, who joined us to explain his comments on the Honorable MP for Dom Kwabenya Adjoa Safo's absence from Parliament. We are told she has asked to be on a 1-month leave. This has been the headlines. The Breakfast Show continues, and it's Ghana month. We are celebrating everything Ghanaian. Today I'm dressed as a Asafo Nyo. Ni mi ya yala. Ncho akecho ulukweku. Ni egbeshi. Ni mofemo eyoyo. There's a big loss and we are all in mourning. So once I put my leaves in my mouth, it means I'm fasting and I will not speak for the rest of the day. So that's why they put the leaves in their mouth. They don't eat and they don't speak. That's why if you get in their way, they have to prod you off so that you go away. So you don't cross them. They can't tell you to leave. So people will have to work with them to make sure you don't cross into their mix. The show continues after the break. There's some excellent stuff coming up. We'll be back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumpy, so we try our suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I did see what straight to start. I'll take you to next level. Oh, baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Energy next level. Back, baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. Baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't code this level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Welcome to Malaria 360. COVID-19 seems to be getting all the attention lately, but right here, our focus is on everything malaria. I know we've all become a little paranoid lately. At the onset of the slightest fever, we begin to imagine things and start popping pills, but this is wrong. A simple test at a health facility is all you need to confirm.
Going to
Breakfast Show.
You are watching GTV Breakfast. This is hashtag Heritage Month on GTV, hashtag GTV Breakfast. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. I'm still just bowled over by this news about Nigerians flocking to the Ukrainian embassy in Abuja, Nigeria, volunteering to go and fight in Ukraine. And I'm thinking, man, have you volunteered to fight against Boko Haram in your own country? And you are in such a hurry to to go to Ukraine to fight. The nearest those guys to get to Ukraine is some tomato farm in southern Italy. I'm sure these guys just want to leave the country. Volunteer. Yeah, right. Anyway, I'm about to have a great conversation with a gentleman I just met a couple of minutes ago, but reminds me so much of one of my uncles. He is a very talented actor. He's been acting since the age of 8. Originally from Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, and he's here in Ghana, not for the first time. Why is he here? And what has thrilled him so far in his time here? My guest is award-winning actor Rudolph Walker. Welcome to Ghana.
Greetings. It's good to be home.
It's good to see you here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was looking at your profile, and it says you have CBE in front of your name. But before that, you were OBE. OBE being Order of the British Empire,
That's
and
right.
CBE being the Commander of the British Empire.
Yes.
What are you commanding?
Myself. Yep, it's just one of those things that the acting fraternity thought that I deserve some award for the work that I've been doing over the years, not only in drama, but a lot of charity work that I try and get involved in over the years, which is great. It's just my way of giving back to the people who have supported me over many years.
And you're welcome. This must be the 4th time you're in Ghana.
Yes.
What brought you here the first time?
You know, we living in Trinidad, we get such negative views of what Africa is like, and even going to the UK, you know, the Africa was, to put it in a nutshell, the way people live was sort of totally different. And I thought I knew differently. But I thought that I just had to visit Africa, per se. I just had to come and feel what it's like, where my ancestors came from. So it was important. It took me many years, far too many years, before I made my first visit. And it's a sort of a remarkable thing when I arrived. I was supposed to go to, well, in fact, I went to Nigeria. It was Ghana on, what was it, Nigerian Airlines, then on to Nigeria, and then back to Ghana. And I did the most extraordinary thing when I landed at Accra. It was just after midnight, and they made us come off the plane because we couldn't fly on to Nigeria at that time of the night. And I did what, to say the Pope did. I just went down and kissed the earth. And it just happened. And went on to Nigeria, spent couple of weeks in Lagos, and came back to Ghana. And it really was the start of a love relationship.
We'll explore that relationship in a short while. But let's switch it to what people know you for. Acting. How did you get the bug?
It started so early. It started, I suppose, in primary school at the age of, supposedly, I don't know, the age of 5, 6, 7, 8. I just loved getting on stage. My old primary school teacher said that I was a shy youngster, but put me on stage, and I want to do this. I wasn't satisfied with just doing one line with all the other, you know, 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds. I would go to her and say, "Miss, can I get some more to do?" So that's when it started. And then from there I went on to elementary school or comprehensive school, and it just carried on from there. I was one of the youngest member in the drama group, And by the age of 13, 14, I was playing the principal part, way above the youngsters who were the senior kids. So yes, it started very early, and it just progressed from there. Had my own company at 14, my own drama, little group of youngsters performing in other schools.
Okay.
Joined the best amateur dramatic group in Trinidad at the time. And that was the journey. That was the start of, and when I look back, none of my relatives
were actors.
You know, when I announced to my mother, I had a job in the civil service at the time, just a compositor, and I said to my mother, I want to go somewhere. I want to go abroad. And she said, no, you have a good job.
Stay.
You know, stay.
Get a pension.
Yeah, or whatever. You know, I have the opportunity to work myself up to the top. And why do you want to go? And but I persevered, and she came home one day and said, you have my blessings, go.
And so much has changed over the years, but some things still remain the same. You still have the conflicts between parents and children about what to do, and it was just discussed in the headlines not long before you came here. What would you tell, first of all, parents and then children about career choices?
It was very interesting because the way that came about, my going to the UK, my mother was on a bus on her way home, and she overheard a conversation between two parents, and one said, I regret not sending my son to America. He wanted to go to America to study, to study and work. And she refused, and she lived to regret it. And that was the moment that my mother said, no, I am going to let my son travel. Don't discourage your youngsters. They can't live their life through you. You know, they have their own path to follow. So if my son says to me, Dad, I want to be a doctor, I'm an actor, I would love him to be an actor. You want to be a doctor, or you want to be this, you want to be that? Yes, that's your dream. That is what you're here to fulfill. Go and do it and explore it. The sky is the limit.
And what do you tell a young person who doesn't want to be disrespectful to his or her parents?
No, respect cuts both ways. If you have a parent, you know, there should be a give and take between relationships. You should be able to sit and talk to your children, and they should be able to sit and converse with you and say, look, Mom, no, I don't agree with what you're saying, or I disagree, and vice versa. So there should be a coming together of thoughts and minds. The world is changing so rapidly now that, you know, the way I grew up as a youngster in Trinidad is so totally different from what the youngsters are like now. Nowadays, it's that and lack of communication, and I find that so sad.
Communication through the thumb.
Through the thumb. I find it so sad.
And then you land in the UK. What would you say was your breakthrough role that all of a sudden somebody says, oh, who's that Rudolph chap? Where did he come from?
I'm 82 and I'm still breaking through.
Oh, explain that. You should have broken through by now.
Well, it is hard to say. I mean, when you talk about breakthrough, then you talk about success. Yes, I mean, to make it a lot simpler, I did a lot of work in the theater, and then I was offered a part of some television series, comedy series called Love Thy Neighbor, which became a phenomenal hit right across the, you know, not only in the UK, in the Caribbean, in Nigeria. It was a phenomenal hit. They dare not show it now because of being politically correct.
What were the scenes? What some of the dialogues that you had? What was the concept for those who don't know?
It was a black couple living next door to a white couple, and they would call each other names and things like
N-words and things like that?
And words like, well, in fact, we never used the N-word in that. But there were other names that, you know, you would call, and you know, we were antagonistic towards each other. The women got along very well together. But as I said, it was something fresh at the time. It was new. The first time on British television you had a black man standing up to a white man and vice versa.
And that was you?
And that was me. Well, yes, of course it was me. You know, but it was, but the point was made is that previous to that, you know, you had our guys holding spears. You know, you had our guys being subservient. You know, that was a
stereotypical
black person. And suddenly you had coming into your living room at least once a week was this guy who said, hey, you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. But that was something that I made sure the writers and the producers have in their script.
You had the power to change the script?
Well, put it when I was offered the part, I said quite categorically, this character must not be an Uncle Tom.
Somebody who's groveling and
somebody who's groveling. As I said, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you. So that was the line they followed throughout.
How important is it for an actor to make these things known in the beginning, in terms of negotiating a kind of a role that beyond just what's happening on the screen? Because people take what happens on the screen as real life.
Well, not many actors had that power still, or have that kind of power now. Yes, there are a few black actors who can do that. I had a very, very clear vision of where I was heading as a young man in Britain. I knew the path I wanted to follow. I refused when I started in the industry to be holding spears. I refused to join the Royal Shakespeare Theatre Company in the early days, although it was the in thing to do.
Why?
I refused to join unless they say to me, Rudolph Walker, this is the role you're going to play. This is the part you are going to play. What was happening is that a lot of my fellow actors went into Royal Shakespeare Theatre Company and waited until they offered them a part, and invariably the part was holding a spear or playing the typical role of serving
the white guy.
The white guy.
Were they hungry?
We were all hungry.
Why did you resist?
Why did I resist? There was a certain amount of dignity and pride, and I was prepared to battle the hard way to achieve what I wanted to achieve. No, I had nothing against these guys who did that, because we all had to make a living. But that's not the road I wanted to follow.
Were you tempted sometimes to, you know what, just take the spear role? And
no.
Never?
Never. Never. I remember a very prominent doctor friend of mine, and when I discussed this with him, he said, no, Rudy, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You should enter the Royal Shakespeare Theatre Company, change from within. And I said to him, I listened, and I said, no. Once you're in, it is in that circumstance, it is very difficult to change. I stood up for what I believed in and what I wanted. It has served me reasonably well over the years.
Have you succeeded?
It depends on how you measure success.
Well, how do you measure success?
My success, and I told some students this yesterday, my success is sitting here with you and being able to say that this is my experience, this is who I am, this is where I come from. My success is not measured by a big house and a Rolls Royce and being financially, you know, secure, or no, this gives me pleasure. Visiting schools and talking to youngsters give me a tremendous amount of pleasure. Going to a hospice and holding someone's hand and talking to them, because they know I appear on television and not many people would want to do that. Being part of patron of prostate cancer, all these things give me the pleasure. That is my success.
What's your favorite role to date?
To date? I like that, to date. That's giving me a lot of hope.
Yeah, you can still go on. Yes, well, still, by God's grace.
On television, I did a series called Black Silk, and it's about a black barrister, top black barrister back in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, who challenge the establishment. In those days, pupillage was very difficult for a young black barrister to gain, and it challenged all that. And he was the champion of the underdogs, and that on television was on my, something that was memorable, something that in the theatre I did a play called King of England based on King Lear, and for that I got an award for the best actor, and it was challenging, and I just loved it. But there's so many things that I did that in fact every part that I have done, be it on television or on the theatre, I have enjoyed tremendously, because I don't accept anything unless I know it's challenging and I am going to enjoy it. As you're probably aware, that I'm involved in a very successful television series at the moment called EastEnders. It's been going for over 30 years. I've been in it for 20 years, and I love it because it's challenging physically, mentally, and all over. And it's BBC, which they are doing, and that is to use more and more black actors, the black families into the series, and it's great.
You're a good-looking 82-year-old man. What's your secret?
It's maybe in the genes. But I try and look after myself as best as I can. It's, I enjoy myself. I love laughter. And I always say the best recipe for good health is laughter.
Good laugh.
A good laugh. And that I enjoy.
Were you ever tempted to go and do radio? You have a great radio voice.
I did a lot of radio back in the 60s and 70s. I was involved with African Service, so I did a lot of plays and a lot of broadcasts.
The BBC?
At BBC,
okay.
Yes, in those early days. It was great. But now my schedule doesn't allow me to do anything outside of EastEnders. Occasionally.
I was really surprised to find out that you have a link with Teletubbies. Tinky Winky Dipsy. What were you doing on that show?
Well, I mean, that was so many years ago. I mean,
I'm so surprised.
I knew that my name is done on that, and I'm sure, but I'll have to hear what someone will have to play for me, my input in the Teletubbies. But that was so many years ago. Yeah. I mean, my daughter said to me, must have been about 4 or 5 years ago, she said, "Dad, have you gone onto Google and see what you have done?" I said, "No. I mean, I'm not, I go into Google and all these things from time to time, but I'm not, into." So she said, "You must have a look." And really, I'm seeing things that I did back in the 60s.
Yeah.
That really,
it's all there.
It's all there.
Yeah.
I hope it's not all there.
What don't you want to be there?
Well, I don't know. Not
Let's bring it home. So you touched down not too long ago. You've been quite busy. You went to watch the screening of 28th, The Crossroads.
Yes. A bit of history. Yes.
How did you find that?
It was, mind-boggling. It's, you realize that what we as a people have been through, those many years ago, and I'm still learning. This is not the first time I went to Cape Coast, but there was so much more I took in.
The castle.
The castle.
I don't even call them castles. I think like just forts or prisons.
Yeah, again, it's a sort of a moving experience, and a museum I visited as well. In Takoradi, secondly, and the history. And there is a lot to learn, and I sincerely hope that knowledge is spread. This is something that the Afro-Caribbean community in the UK should know and should be aware of. You are aware of that, and it's certainly, you can come away walking 10 feet tall. And something that I said to some students, my ancestors came from, I would like to think, from Ghana.
Yes.
Okay, and what we went through, the chains, and we made it to the Caribbean. And I am a product of that. I got to be strong.
Big time.
You got to be strong to have survived that journey. I lifted the chain of, there was someone predicting what the slaves, and I lifted the chain, and I said, is this the sort of chain? And he said, no. It was heavier, much heavier than that. And I thought, wow, really? So there is that image of my great-great-great-great-grandfather lifting these heavy chains, going through what he did, landing in Jamaica or Trinidad, and survive. Who am I? I am a giant.
Do you sometimes think about the why people did this too?
Why people are still doing it. Why people are still doing it. We are destroying ourselves. Why? Brother fighting brother, why? What legacy are you leaving for your children and your grandchildren? Why in London are you stabbing your brother, shooting your brother? Why? Is that what you want your grandchildren to grow up and be like? Is that the sort of society? Don't look at just today, look at tomorrow, look at the future. Why destroy ourselves? Let's put our heads together. There is strength in numbers. 2 heads are better than 1. Let's look at positives, not negatives.
Is history a big deal in the UK and in Trinidad as far as the school system is concerned?
No, and I sometimes I think we should only use history to move forward. We shouldn't use history as a means of saying, oh, this has happened to me and that's it and that's no. We look at history and we learn from history. There are lots of good things. I mean, my growing up is a form of history. The way I grew up, from a single parent family, but there was love around. We played, we communicated, I communicated with my friends. We created things with our hands. We laughed, we cooked, we got together in groups of little boys, we got together and we got a big tin and, this one donated a piece of yam and that one was able to go down by the river and caught a fish, and then we sat down and we cooked because our parents showed us how to do things. And while the food cooking, we play pitch marbles or fly kite, play cricket, play football in the garden. When it's cooked, we finish and we sit down and we eat, we get calabash bowl and then we communicated, we talk, we laugh, we make jokes. Now, we don't talk. Great, technology has taken us, but we lose that communication, getting to know each other. So history insofar that is how I grew up, and sometimes I miss that. I love my kids. I thought, oh God, what's a pity.
They're missing out.
They're missing out. We can learn from history.
If you haven't written a book about your life,
I've been writing it for God knows how many
please
years.
Let it come out. Let it come out so we can read and get a slice of that history. Looking at Trinidad and Ghana, what are the similarities apart from the people? I mean, if I stepped out with you right now, you would know that you're from Trinidad. They'll just think you and your uncle.
Yes, that's talking about Ghana.
You look a lot like my uncles or my father or anything. Similarities apart from the people.
It's exactly the same. Our sense of humor is more or less the same. You got some places in Trinidad and you feel you're in Ghana, and vice versa. When I went to Takoradi, I told you that I felt I was home. I did things that I did when I was growing up in Trinidad. So there are lots of similarities, and I hope that we make a greater link. My Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, was here not long ago, and I know that he's forging a relationship, a closer relationship, is something that should have happened many years ago. We should have a direct flight from Trinidad or the Caribbean to Africa. Why on earth do we have to go through the UK and then down, which is something that I'm doing when I leave. I fly down to Trinidad, down to the UK, and then over to Trinidad. Wouldn't it be fantastic if I can say leave here and fly straight to Trinidad?
Boom.
Boom. And that's what, so we have to forge this link. There's so much we can do to support each other.
Why aren't black people getting together, man?
Why? Why? If I could really answer that, and if I'd probably be make a million if I can forge the correct answer. But why? Why aren't we doing that in Africa? Why aren't we doing it across the world? Other nations and other people are doing it, but we are not doing it. Why?
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 You're going to be in town for quite a while, and I know you met with the chief, Nana Kobnan Ketia. He's just like
an amazing,
a walking history book.
Amazing. And I hope that if not on this trip, that when I come back again, I can spend more time with him.
He's a
great man, a great guy, and his association with Stokely Carmichael. Yes, so many great
big
people.
Pan-African greats.
Yes. Fantastic. I mean, I am staying now with the son of Dr. Busby, who was a very good friend of Nkrumah, and they were part of that group of people who came here, to build the late George Padmore, who played a very important part in building Ghana. So there is such a wonderful link, and I, I hope that my legacy would show that I make even a small contribution to Ghana.
Mm-hmm. And you're actually on leave because you're still working.
I'm still working. I'm just taking 6 weeks off.
3 weeks here, 3 weeks in Trinidad.
Yeah,
and then you go back to the UK
into the studio again.
The studio. What excites you about working on television?
Oh, I love it. I describe it that even now, at this young age, when I get to the studio, there is an excitement. I walk on. It's like a little child, looking at my script. How can I do this? I get on set and I'm still nervous, believe it or not. At
82, you're still nervous?
At 82, I still get nervous until, I start rehearsing and, and the cameras start rolling then. But I still have that nervous energy, that enjoyment, that worry when I get a script and having to go through it and learn my lines and prepare myself. So yes, I enjoy acting. And I tell youngsters when they say, "Oh, I want to be an actor," I said, "Why?"
It's important to know the why, right?
Yes, I want to know the why. Because I talk to students and say, "Why?" They say, "Well, because you're famous and you have a big car." I said, "No, I don't have a big car. I have a little car outside." I have a big house. No, I don't have a big house. I have a semi-detached house and I have a garden that I love gardening and I do this and I do. Oh, why not? I said, "No, because I'm enjoying my work. And you probably wouldn't put up with what I have to put up with." And then I say, look, sometimes they pick me up at 6 o'clock in the morning, which means that I'm up since 4:30, 4 o'clock.
Still sleeping.
Yeah, and you're still sleeping. Okay? At 65, they give me the luxury of being driven to the studio. And I'm looking at my lines in the car, I would fall asleep. Then I get to the studio about 7:30. By 8:30, I'm on set. It could be 5 or 6 days a week that I don't finish until 7 o'clock, depending on the storyline.
So it's a full day's work.
So I go home and I learn my lines for the next day, or make sure my lines for the next day. They say, "Wow," and you can see their eyes opening. Now, this is not every day of the week. It could be 3 days a week, 2 days a week, 1 day a week, 6 days a week, 5 days a week.
They don't see the hard work that goes into acting.
They don't see that at all. No, you got to really love something to do it for so many years and enjoy it. But if you hate what you're doing, if you don't really enjoy what, you're not going to last. It would be an effort for you to get up in the morning to go to work, and you got to be there on time. You don't, when they say 8 o'clock on the floor, you are there at 8 o'clock. Not 1 minute past 8, not 2 minutes past 8. So punctuality in the business is important, especially on television and film.
What else do you know? What do you know in your world, in the world of acting, that somebody who's stepping out wouldn't know? Given the long time that you've had in the profession, what tips can you give, apart from what you just told about discipline and punctuality? What else should they be prepared for?
It's a precarious profession. So today you're up, tomorrow you're down. And not because you did one play or one television show and the critics are saying, you're great, you're fantastic. Don't let that get to your head. Because you can still be out of work for several months after that. So you got to have that, you got to be able to, that sustainability, you got to have that inner strength, you got to have that belief in yourself that you are going to succeed. And you got to make sacrifices.
What did you sacrifice?
When it started very, I mean, overall, refusing to go after the bucks. So that there were things that I was offered doing the television series Love Thy Neighbor, that they wanted me to play the same sort of character. I got offers for that, and I refused. I said, no, I've spent 4 years doing that. I did other things in between, other plays in between, but I was known as Bill Reynolds in Love Thy Neighbor. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life playing Bill Reynolds in Love Thy Neighbor. So that was a decision I took. I refused to do that. In those early days, I was also encouraged to go to America by many American actors who came to the UK who were offered leading roles, and they refused to use the local black actors who were equally as good. But when the likes of the late Ozzie Davis came down and I did some voiceovers for him, he said, well, why don't you pack your bag and go to America? And I realized, no, I'm going to America mainly for the bucks, like the lifestyle there anyhow. And I felt even in those days that I had a lot to offer in the UK. There were challenges that I wanted to face, and I'd already started on that path. So that was the reason why I didn't go for the bucks and the big Hollywood fame, and I stayed in the UK. But that more or less are the sort of areas things that I refuse to do. The sacrifices, but with the sacrifices, it's just choices that I made.
Did relationships suffer as a result of your acting?
They might have done. I don't know. I'm sure relationships suffered as a result of that.
Do you blame your divorces on the work?
No, I blame it on me.
You're the guilty one.
Yes. Well, God, you took me along. You're a clever interviewer, you know. You're smart. You take me down a road that I don't talk about. Put it this way: the mother of my son and daughter, fantastic children and grandchildren, and she is a fantastic woman. So yes, I blame myself for the breakup of that relationship. But it was necessary. It happened, and we are very close to each other. We respect each other. We see each other. She's living not far from me. We respect each other. We see a lot of each other. Other relationships, there are always two sides to the story.
Indeed.
Always two sides to the story.
Are you ready for my random questions?
I am ready for them. You worry me now.
We'll take a break. And we'll come back and get the random questions from my guest. Rudolph Walker, actor, CBE, visiting Ghana, inspiring the young. We'll be leaving us soon to go to Trinidad, but we have him here for now. So we'll find out what he's going to be doing in the coming days. We'll get our random questions, and then we'll call time on this interview. So this break is brought to you by Quick Credit, lending made simple. And they are proud to sponsor Your World. Back in a mo for the random questions right here. Don't go anywhere.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
What? Tell me what it.
Hey, tell me, wait. Tell me, beer.
Bema wa worry me. Watch me you come 1 week, Mr. Oh. Now,
hey, Buga, nade.
Senior, name me and you ma cut down my business is a collapse my house.
So take quick credit in car.
Quick credit?
Who pesika? Eddie Astati Jumebi. Who here Bissia Eddie Atre Udium. We a government and a private worker. Who pesika de ate hot so. Who here Busumi Juma. Who here Sikadia Bibin Tempe so. Quick credit Bema loan and what you and kakra. Now and make just some Cassian say. A collateral free loaner, Susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBN. You hear and say, Who Ghana card 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now one hour young. Who need excuse here? Quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833. Basila.
You're watching GTV Breakfast, #Heritage Month on GTV. If you want to say, you're welcome in Ever, you say, wisdom. So, wisdom. In case you don't know how to speak Ever, you say, wisdom. You're welcome. And then the response is, yo. All right. My guest is Rudolph Walker. And he has been sharing nuggets of his life with us. You know, you saw, just during the break, after the break, we saw the building there. It's a 600-year-old building. Can you imagine that?
Remarkable. I mean, built in Ghana.
In Ghana.
You know, again, we come back that there is so much we have to be proud of. There's so much about us that, you know, youngsters should know.
I mean, we need to just even study that technology and see why has the building lasted so long?
So long.
It's the oldest mosque in Ghana.
Yeah.
600 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I as a kid growing up in Trinidad, and even the youngsters in the UK, the history that we were taught, nothing like that we were told. I mean, as you know, we were taught things like, you know, African lives in trees.
In trees, yes. A black person gets to the UK and they ask, how did you come? How did you swim over?
Yeah. Or when I say I'm from Trinidad, which part of Africa is that?
Trinidad?
Yeah. Which part of Africa is that? It's just amazing. Yeah. We should know our history.
We should. And I know you'll be going to the northern part of Ghana soon.
Yes.
You need to go and enter that building.
Definitely. I can't come here without visiting that. I feel guilty because I'm not aware of that.
Even I didn't know it was 600 years old. So,
So, no, and it's somewhere and something that I hope that my children and grandchildren would visit before too long. It's one of the things that I'd love them to visit Africa.
Your experiences here?
Yes, but maybe not as much as I would like them to, because, you know, like everything else, they are busy making a living and doing things, but they're intrigued. My visit, and my daughter keep texting me, bring some images of, you know, yourself and what is happening there.
You send her a copy of this interview as soon as we are done. It's on Facebook right now. So
is it on Facebook?
Oh yes, it's live on YouTube, Facebook. Yes.
Yes, my foundation follow Facebook. And they say, look, Rudy, I want you to check this out. This is a message that was sent to you. I am afraid that Okay.
Yes,
so I'm
indeed.
Looking forward to
we'll
that.
do that. I'm just curious, before we get to the random questions, how did COVID-19 affect you personally as an actor, where you're supposed to be locked down, you're supposed to have social distancing? I mean, how do you do a kiss or a hug when you're socially distant?
Oh, well, you know, it's difficult. It's changing now because, you know, there's the easing up the thing. But it wasn't easy. They had a system whereby I'll be doing a scene with you, yeah, but you'll be replaced with a
hologram?
Not a hologram, just a stick with a tennis ball at the top of it, and I'll be talking to you, right? And I have to imagine that
it's the person.
Yeah, and then vice versa. And so that was the sort of system that we had to use, because you had to keep that distance, and technologies of such that they can make it appear as though. But that is as far as acting is, you know, they're acting and thing, and they closed all theaters so you couldn't perform in theaters. But a strange thing happened to me when it all at the time, on holiday doing and I had just a day or two to go before I take my flight back to the UK, and everything, all hell let loose. The studios were closed, and the day before I flew to the UK, I cancelled my flight. And I thought, no, there's something telling me not to travel. And I didn't. So I ended up 7 months in Trinidad.
What was it like, lockdown in Trinidad?
Oh, it was fantastic. I was home in my own house. There was a certain amount of freedom, because at that point Trinidad was riding top as far as COVID incidents were concerned, because the government stepped in very early and blocked on traveling and going to the supermarket. The over 60s were allowed to go first thing in the morning, and things like you kept your distances as much as possible. The beaches were closed, but you were still allowed to drive and go out. So I did a lot of that, and I did a lot of exercise, I did a lot of walking. It was absolute bliss. So I said that, you know, the old man, somebody was looking after me, and the images that I had of the UK at the time was horrendous and depressing, getting news from my children and grandchildren and the lockdown. And you know, there is going to be the knock-on effect of all that is we are faced with a mental disaster, because people have suffered as a result of youngsters going into school, not being able to go to school.
Yeah, babies being born and all they see are people with masks.
Yeah,
and I read a report on the BBC about how they felt that was going to affect the development of children, because you're not seeing people smile, all you're seeing are masks. You know.
Yeah. Why can't I hug Granny? You know, and I'm not sure whether the government has taken that seriously. I think they better, because the knock-on effect is going to be horrendous, and we are seeing it. I visit schools, and you know, you talk to teachers and say that, you know, yeah.
And then when we thought we were getting over the whole COVID thing, then boom, Russia, Ukraine. What are your thoughts, sitting back here looking at what's happened? You were here when it happened, or you were in the UK preparing? Last week is when the invasion happened.
Yes, I was in the UK.
Preparing to come.
You know, we come back to man inhumanity to man. It's what is happening in the Ukraine is happening everywhere on different levels. In the need to control, the need to reclaim land or go back. Yes, it's man inhumanity to man, and I find it appalling. You know, refugees from all over the world. We have to look back and visit why in the first place that happened. Why? Go back to the source. Go back. What we are seeing now is the end product.
Yeah, of like 100 years of history and things like that.
100 years of history. Why did that happen in the first place? When you displace people, it's going to come back to haunt you in the end.
Has Europe been caught by surprise? I read reports of in Western media expressing shock and think, no, this is not Africa or the Middle East. These are blonde Christian people in refugee queues. They seem to be shocked.
Well, what I am saying, this is what I'm saying, none of what is happening today should come as a shock to people. If you study your history, if you go back, there is a cause, there's a reason why all these things are happening. You know, and in our grandchildren's time, maybe the reverse would happen and they would say, why is this happening? But go back and you realize why it is happening.
Connect the dots.
Yes, these are the consequences. You know, live. It's a very small price to pay for walking the street and say, hi, brother, good morning. Good afternoon, can I help you? Crossing the street, someone slip and fall. You pick them up. My brother is hungry. How can we
give him some bread?
It's yes, we're going to get the lazy one, but if this is if we want a better society, we have to start at the top as well.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to. You don't expect. You got to set the example.
Guys at the top, the leaders.
The guys at the top, the leaders, the politicians, the church leaders, the whatever it is, whoever it is, have to set the example. And if the youngsters see that you are carrying a gun, you're going to another nation and you're shooting them, they're going to do exactly the same thing as they're growing up.
So leadership.
If they see you're pocketing, you know, and you're living in a big house and how you got your money is not by fair means, the man down in the gutter, down in the street, hustling, they're going to do exactly the same thing. You got to, as leaders, we owe it to our next generation to set the example.
Well said. Which brings me nicely to my random questions. There's a bottle behind the cushion, so just pick it out.
Tell me, you said these questions from England or you said it over?
These are unique questions. Nobody has seen these questions. They are all very, you take the question, you read it, and then you can put it in your pocket after we've had a little conversation on it. Yeah, so you can shake it a little bit. Yeah.
The good ones at the bottom or the I'm not good at picking things, you know. When I do, I attend, you know, of course they ask me to do all sorts of
raffles
and things at organizations.
Yes.
And you know, you know, there are ladies in the audience, and I said, help me to pick a woman so that at least I can have a conversation. I can kiss her on the cheek. Invariably, I pick out a man, or I pick out somebody who don't like me, or something like that.
Then you have a problem.
You know, I have a problem.
This question will not give you a problem. I can guarantee.
You sure about that?
I am 100%. 100%. 100%.
All right,
yes.
Here it comes.
Yes. Please read it for me.
All right.
Yep.
You asked me to read, you know.
You can read. You read lots of lines for a living.
Here we go.
Yes, sir.
What does it mean to be powerful? I don't know. What does it mean to be powerful? What does it mean to be powerful? I honestly don't know, because I am not powerful. Oh, yes, am I? Wow, that could be a very loaded question. What does it mean to be powerful? To be powerful, it means that you're in a position to set examples. You're in a position to make changes that would that would have an effect on generations to come. So you've got to be mindful of the power you hold to change people's lives for the better. Those are the basic things that what it means to be powerful. So it's not a coincidence that I picked this out of the conversation that we were just having. Wow. Yeah. And I, in a way, I'm conscious of that. Very conscious of that. I had the good fortune of meeting Muhammad Ali and spending the late Muhammad Ali.
The Muhammad Ali?
The Muhammad Ali.
Nice.
I do, as I might have mentioned, I do a lot of work, my foundation do a lot of work in schools. And I visit schools, I run an inter-school drama competition. And the reason behind that is to get youngsters to work outside school hours and write and direct their own 10-minute drama piece. What it means that they can communicate with each other, support each other, and then they allow the schools pick the best 3, and we perform in front of celebrities and parents and whatnot. They're awarded the best actor, etc., etc. I get mentors to go into the schools and coach them, but this developing what they have written and what they have produced, but it gives them a sort of a self-confidence. Not necessarily because they want to be actors, but the knock-on effect is fantastic. So, visiting Muhammad Ali, and he visited one of the schools, but through a colleague of mine invited him, and this is quite some time ago. And he asked me to come, and another colleague of mine, to have lunch with him at the hotel. Can't say no, so
No way.
Went, and the 4 of us sat, Muhammad Ali, my friend, and his lady at the time. We had photos taken, and he said, right, photos are taken, go. I don't want anyone here. And I sat with that man, and it was just incredible. You realize you were in the presence of a great man. He was interested in what we were doing in the UK. How we building our lives. What you should be doing to promote young blacks in the UK, to give them and realize that is exactly what I was doing at the time. But what struck me most of all is that boxing was a platform for him to go on and be a teacher. And in a way, I just feel that old man up there has given me, I love acting, I enjoy it. But I sometimes feel that it's a platform for me, not only to try and encourage youngsters, but to do the charity work that I do, because I feel when I visit a hospice, I feel when I help to promote prostate cancer and other things that I get involved in. It's just an extension
of the platform.
Yeah. So it's not a coincidence. So
please take it with you.
I will.
You're the only person who will read that question and answer it, so it's yours.
Bless you.
Anything you would like to say to people watching here, people here in Ghana, people in Trinidad, people all around the world, because this is a global show? Final words you want to give them?
Just enjoy each day. I know we are living in a world where there are challenges, enormous challenges. But I use a phrase that which propelled me into some sort of what they call celebrity status, and a phrase that sometimes use: love thy neighbor, love your neighbor.
Just like your show.
Just like the show.
Mr. Walker, thank you very much.
Blessings, thanks.
Blessings to you. Really enjoyed that chat with Rudolph Walker, who is in Ghana. doing great work. Check him out. Check out his foundation, Rudolph Walker Foundation, and see what they're doing to help people. He's using his platform for good. And in case you're dashing out of your home because we've made you very, very late and you're wondering, what else can I do to watch this show? You can watch the show again in the evening, 11 p.m., because this whole breakfast show will be repeated from 11 p.m. tonight. Okay. With that said, we want to bring back a feature that was aired earlier on this morning concerning the people at Appiatse who underwent a very horrific experience when a truck loaded with explosives just basically exploded and flattened the whole community. Tomorrow they bury their dead and the reconstruction is underway. What are the stories from that particular accident and what lessons have we learned? It's coming up right now on #GTV Breakfast. Don't go anywhere. This is our Heritage Month that we're celebrating right here on GBC TV. Stay with us. Don't go.
Appiatse is a mining and a farming community between Tarkwa and Bogoso in the Prestia-Huni Valley Municipal Assembly in the western region of Ghana. It has a population of a little over 10,000. And this is what Appiatse would have looked like but for the unfortunate event of 20th January 2022, looking at its adjoining village, Nyametiase. Being a mining community, it is safe to assume that the people may be aware of dynamite, its importance to mining, and its benefits for miners. Indeed, that can have a very devastating effect if found in the wrong hands, and this is what the indigents of Appiatse will wake up to on January 20, 2022. A sad reality, this is flattened by dynamite. On January 20, 2022, a truck transporting dynamite explosives to Chiranu Gold Mine, operated by Canada-based Kinross, about 140 kilometers away from the epicenter of the blast in Appiatse, allegedly collided with a tricycle, locally known as Aboboya, causing a devastating explosion. The people of Appiatse, as well as other commuters traveling along that road, came to the scene of the collision. Curious, some decided to use their mobile phones to capture the scenes. Blast went off some few minutes later, leaving some 13 people dead, several also injured, and hundreds of properties razed down. The destruction traveled as far as a kilometer away from the epicenter of the blast. In this feature, GTV's Breakfast Keep an Eye team brings you Flattened by Dynamite, as we pay a visit to survivors to find out how they are picking their lives up and the kind of support that's available for them. The costs: properties, shops, a church about 88 meters from the epicenter went down. Same as a makeshift school, a fuel station in the distance, with some houses behind it, all affected. At the relief camp, we met some of the victims. First to speak to us was a young widow, Hannah Entry, who lost her husband in the blast.
System there, yemi kuna bisha for no mo boa me kakanka. Na oman I say community uniso. President nso kakanka mo hwe yen kakanka nti. A system ne omo ko school ne ade. Omo school ne de omo ko kakanka. Se ama krampo me ya fit. Me ona me na ya me ya me mu na ade. Ti say next for so ha omo hwe yen kakanka.
We spoke also to the MCE.
And running up my Bosombaco Pepe. And said, I'll be 11:30 in Mona, your sound no crown on me feeling or me dynamic muno, and I'm a Pia Bonting, and I'm baby said, then me confirming also a sound if you room. Until now, sound strange. Until me down about 2 minutes, 3 minutes now, Minya cause asemesi Appiatse ni na yekoya yekodru ho na mfa de kro ni nyina no abadan.
We also spoke to the director of NADMO, Mr. Abeku Yanka.
Say Appiatse nseme no na obie no ya hobo ati say wo fi wonim so wonya bibi wonim so wo fa bibi hu be owu a kwa ba fa so benya moa no e so ye de wo fa so na oboa nti Appiatse nseme no over sisi afere egu so enya the accurate data be ashase no nenam 1000 sisi egu so enya data afa letter commission for our mobile sisi nenam 882 Temisa sa time no mo na 1500 and 1002 no mu free no meka ho benyame adom nyoma e ba fuma yenya 1 month no ma no so e de e te the tent ya ka wase ene na ka chance be ye ka say no tem bia dofunu bi be ye moa e de ka ye ka sa tent bi de gu ha ya mo de abayi ye ka say e Benito any minister deputy minister Benito Biu any honorable minister Jidinapo omo so ayade say omo ne FG afo eka na ya jedana esi ha no bi na ye do makotem ne ya boso aye ka say oba obun se dan bi wa uncompleted bedna ye ba be boso na de apeteman aye de akoho enti e yampa se asase no na ye mmoa ye ho se asem no beto ye na yampa se no moda double ye ka say de ye guso a tent ne ebi be ka ho a okọ ha se obun se esi fresh one o ha ye di ya locate bi no aye de akoho Appiatse di no mo fanso maduna sa na etie na oko bebi a na omote o site no a place no a ewo ho no a na omote no nipa ewo ho omumu ye almost about 300 and over I say si omodan edemo na office space na dan no ebobo ho enti so wo pese o si dan no I say demarcations it means say the city no a sisi aban abono ho modern say oba be si no blog dan ediamomo toilet and bath bebam ensuo bebam ye be street atotum ye be side transformer nyuma nyina ko ho.
Meet Esi Appiatse, a pregnant woman who was at home resting with her 3 children when the blast occurred.
No matter, I'm shedding, you senti, it comes massa. Name me bear, quame down a bear quano. Timothy dad and apino. No pray, me do an who de joe. But I'm kita mo from her. Timmy Gwen, they be my man away. Timmy, my judge, my teacher, the minion and banner cry. Na deno, a dan bobu gumedo. Into a come and you are a crea. Muda bled the birquana, metiano, or what chum. Timmy, about Mona me war, Asada. Do I not the way I me feel mojano, and yada obo to my. I know where them quafion quanta. I don't why I mean you at them. Minti them. At night I mean you at them. Mamma is here so. Ya na kasanel baby ya maswan yet papa. See I jinechi pa muhu. Chide bem na minimu dada ya mehu. Ya mpa metu ya mpa boy na de. Ko china po wonka da mukati mukro. Na mimide ya minti ya boko.
We then meet another young widow who's also left with 3 children, a very young widow at that.
Tama ejeta kanu no usane asia wa misumi sane asia obi ba dam tam na ejeta kanu de akwahwehwe nkola ni na mo be fie na ye de sane asia ba oni de bebia na ogina no emu twinsin bebia na me wono nti we ni to ye ne de me titoy me huni bi na me ko fim ko na nkola ni ni wona ma se ne de omo afa bush nti nkola no kwa na mko hu ba me prime na e papa mo de me ko hospital ba me ko endem ko to so da ba minim se we prana do sa tam ni na no ni ho bi ntimi man fa no we nti ade chin na ma se ka chem se me kunu efi e so chance ni na ne ba dan de cracking sabe e blog dan nti oni de siwa de black lines did and chance dan de eniso ya ti bibi sa so mbesi e dan na and that do I ever didn't answer if he had called. Me confirm media now, Obi Casamenti, a yana metiwa, name refing, baby, a margin dano, sir, metiwa, and come on me in the margin consistent and one no, Ujina ha such a me, in who so now by their work Canadian menti.
In spite of all that, the people of Appiatse are getting their lives back together. A whole community raised down. But they have the goodwill of the people and businesses scattered around the region, as well as the entire nation. The Prestia Sankofa Gold Company stopped by at the camp to make a donation. They brought with them some roofing sheets, as well as 2 huge cows. This, they explain, will go a long way to help in the feeding of the residents at the relief camp.
Our widows might will not sit down, and just watch. We also do what we can do. So we put our strength together, and we have brought this. It might look small, but we did a needs assessment research as to the things that they might need most, and we realized that food items have come. Rice, oil, sugar, but the protein part is not so much. It's not balancing well. So for them to have a balanced diet when eating, that's why we decided to bring the cows so that they can also have adequate meat, that is protein, to be adding to their food.
Whenever we talk about dynamite, what happened at Appiatse should be a reminder to all concerned that when we ignore safety precautions, we are putting lives at risk.
GBC Studio 1. This is the breakfast show.
The show was a jar oba any unconcron dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
In Jija, woman malaria and kawan to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a 2 FDA. Ashesa a getting.
Ayo, Megava, we're still here. We've come back. And just out of a wonderful experience with Mr. Rudolph Walker, actor, sharing his experience and his life and his thoughts. And Thelma, we do have some messages, right?
We do,
yes.
we do. So I will point and then you read, okay? So I put one nicely there for you.
Good morning. Watching you with Rudolph Walker. His message on unity is heartwarming. Ghanaians should think about what puts us together rather than political division and move ahead. We're more interested in what divides us than puts us together. Thank you very much for the show. That's Ishmael.
Ishmael, no name here.
Yes.
William.
You are dressed.
William.
So as we speak of our heritage, the chiefs and people of Pando Akwini traditional people are installing Togbi Dagadu the 9th. And you want to use our platform for a mention. Why not? William, Cecil, Jampa. You just used it.
We are here for the culture.
Yes, we are here for the culture, definitely.
Let's find more Rudolph Walker. Trisha has one, yes.
Morning. First time I saw him on TV in the UK, Mr. Walker in the 80s in a Caribbean movie, later in the British movies. Started seeing him in American films. There's an African-American series I'm watching now in which he acts as a pastor with a veteran actress, June Whitfield, another great actress. Very controversial, but excellent. He's an outstanding actor. I admire him extensively. Kudos.
I love Trisha. You know, she's watched him.
Okay.
Someone's loving your costume.
The costume, proudly Ghanaian, number 9. Please tell Mr. Rudolph, I have some script ideas that we can work on. It's all about Africa and our heritage. Wafa from Medina. Why not?
Yep. Efwa is also sending us a message.
It says, hey, talk about I greet you. Hashtag GTV Heritage Month on GTV. Hashtag GTV Breakfast Cruise. The Assembly Bow. I bet none of you would want to trade this Heritage Month for anything because you guys are really feeling free in your traditional costumes. I don't envy you that I'm free, man. No shoes. No shoes.
Can't be bothered.
Yeah. Natural, man. Air is flowing.
Air everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay, so this is something I found quite interesting, and it is someone from Southern Africa who sent this message to us, and they are commenting about the herbs around my neck. Say, good morning, Thelma. Did you know that the plant around your neck is used to bring down one's blood pressure? It is called Nkaka in Sizwati language. Sizwati is a language spoken in Eswatini, Southern Africa. So you see, there's more that unites us than what divides us. And the use of hyssop, which the Ghanaians call nyanyira or nyanya, as I've heard some people call it, is one of those things you can find being used across Africa. I said the first time I wore it that when King David referred to it in Psalm 51:7 as cleanse me with hyssop, wash me with hyssop, this is what it means. So it has cleansing abilities and it has protective abilities as well. So that's why people wear the hyssop. People have come to me with questions. They say, oh, Thelma, they said if you wear this, some evil spirit will come upon you, and why are you not afraid? Because it's a part of my culture, and I've actually taken steps to ask about them. So ask questions so you understand. Don't be too quick to make every single thing about the devil, right?
Indeed. I got some shout outs here. So happy belated first birthday to Puaper Roderick Azupwa. Grow and glow from Mr. and Mrs. Africanus Azupwa. Daddy in Tamale is a big fan, big fan of our show.
I hear watching us right now.
And they will not give Makiti peace if you don't make the shout out. So we are giving you.
I have another shout to Mrs. Patience Jenny Boating from Diana Forcing of GTV and her husband. So also happy birthday to you. More messages. Okay. Right on top. Let's see. What are they saying? Okay. The screen is having a bit of a day.
Still a sad story at Appiatse. Kaf, like your outfit. I'll do this on 20th March since we'll be celebrating Ghana in church. Hashtag Ghana to the world. Hashtag GTV.
I love this hashtag. Show. Ghana to the world. I love Ghana to the whole Yasi. GTV Breakfast Show, the best. Good morning. Kingsley Abatakwe is sending us this message from Navrongo. More?
Yes, more. Go on, GTV. Thank you for the great job you guys are doing for Mother Ghana. I want you guys to be the spokesperson for we're having side effects. Oh, okay. Really? We need to
reach out to
find out and see what's happening with side effects, supposed side effects on COVID-19. Yeah. You look beautiful in your shada. You look amazing. Tell me more vibes from Trisha.
More fans are flowing. But yes, keep them coming. 055. Do we have a few minutes to read a few more? I think we do. But we just want to appreciate all the things that unite us as a country, and we are doing Heritage Month on GTV. People, I saw messages earlier. Somebody saying, "Oh, why don't you wear stuff from elsewhere? Why are you wearing stuff?" I'm going. Kaf is Eve, so he can explain some of the things he wears. He knows the people. He understands the cultures and traditions. Share yours with us. Don't always be so quick to say, we are not wearing this. Share yours. Share yours with us. We don't mind. We don't go back. Cry.
Okay, let me also explain something as we are explaining. Okay. So this is a papaon, the towel, and to wear the cloth this way is savoda. Ko is neck. Sa means to tie. Avo is cloth. Okay. So to tie the cloth around your neck. Okay. When you do it this way, it's davorabo. You are throwing the cloth on your shoulder. And if you do it around your waist, savode Ali.
Like you did yesterday.
Yes, Ali. So that's Ali.
That's for the bobo one.
Yes. Yes. More shout outs.
Good morning. Ghanaians glorify the devil too much. The most guilty are the so-called Christians. The Christians will come for you.
Okay.
Ricky is saying that you have shouts?
Yes, quick shouts. This is for Mrs. Patience Ajinim Boating. Today is your birthday, March 4. Happy birthday to you. There's another message here that I want to read quickly. And it's, well, this one is a rather sad one. Good morning, Wilhelmina Nana of Community 4, Sagio Flat, Tema, burying your mom, Mary Mensa, this weekend. Condolences from Richard Bright, Ado from TV3. Thank you so much. Dixon in Tiamwa is a brother to Douglas Asiedu, who lives in Kaswa West. GTV breakfast set and Dixon is getting married. I'm getting married in the morning tomorrow. So happy marriage day to you, Dixon Intiamwa, getting married tomorrow. Two more, Adra Yenyi celebrating your birthday tomorrow.
Say shout out something.
Mouse in your hair celebrating your birthday in 2 weeks. But Jifa Day celebrating your birthday tomorrow.
Hey,
Jifa is my wife. Yeah. And so these are the shouts that we are giving you this morning.
Shouts to the Republic of Ghana, which birthday is on Sunday.
Yes.
Ghana, happy 65th. We are proud to be your children. We are proud to be sons and daughters of this great land.
Please don't do us miss voice call on our WhatsApp number. We can't. There are no loudspeakers.
We can't hear. Okay, let me get this one.
This is a conversation we had in the beginning about apps. You know, so it's about the apps. You ask for an app developer to develop an app whereby fashion designers can take a picture or scan a picture of their clients, where the app will give an accurate measurement of them. That's an interesting one. So you take a picture, and then the picture can actually give you the dimensions. That's a thing that developers need to be working on. Great show, really enjoying it. They say, look, someone said to them that she's Asafonye, but rather she's Asafonyo.
Asafonyo. That Asafonye is the leader of the soldiers. Okay, so she's more like the commander of the group of soldiers. But the Asafonyo is a member, like a soldier in a battalion. So I'm one of the soldiers in the battalion, and that's what this outfit means. So you wear the red, you put the turban on your head, put the black in there, and they know, okay, hido eba ni wohe inshawo. So that's why I'm dressed this way, Asafonyo, dressing the turban on the head, red with the black in there. Anywhere without our powerful nyanyira. So thanks for sending those across. Cap, do you want to take a few more messages?
Why is Stella not reading my message? Somebody says, well, Hey, please, don't attack my lady like that. Why is Stella not reading my messages? If you can't do pack out, we are not packing out.
We are not going. We are staying with you in your house.
We live here. Be nice to us. Be nice. He says, I'm here to support the victims with 50,000 USD. How can I do that? Well, call, send another message right after this. In fact, we'll track your number, your name, and then we'll speak to you. Yes. All right? We'll speak to you. So we'll get in touch, and then Alan will get in touch with you on that. Because Alan did the report on Appiatse.
Alan will give you.
Papi Josh.
Papi Josh is okay. Let's go. Good show.
Keep up the good work. All right. People just want to hear their names on television.
Oh, people
which is nice.
Someone just saying, hello to you too.
It says, wow, your costume. Stay tuned for more next week. We've got a lot ahead for you. Should we tell them who is coming on Monday?
No.
We shouldn't.
No.
Okay, we won't.
They will be with us anyway. So
should we tell them who is coming on Tuesday?
It's International Women's Day, so.
Yes, we have a powerful woman who is coming on Tuesday.
Yes.
We'll keep everything under wraps. You'll start getting the information over the weekend. So follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Follow Thelma. I am Thelma Taki.
Yep.
Across social media. I'm Kafui Day across social media. Valerie, you've been asking about Valerie. Valerie will return, God willing, next week. All right? She's on a little break, and she'll be back next week to give you more vim, more fire, more action. With love from Jay Gabra and Maltiti and Alan and Valerie on leave and Thelma and me.
Who is going to a funeral?
Yes.
Me Yayala.
Oh, yeah, don't. Happy Independence Weekend. God bless. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you.